Sports Network.
All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Sprague on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan and The Fan Sports Network. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday, everybody.
What is happening?
Happy Players Championship Day.
Hey, it teed off, baby.
We're off and rolling.
The fifth major. Who's going to take home number 5 this year?
I can't remember if it was Rory, but somebody of that stature was recently asked about that, and he basically completely poo-pooed it.
Really? Just shot it out of the air.
All over the idea.
Take it down. Nope, not a fifth major.
Of them adding it as a major.
Look, it's a really it's an interesting debate that happens every year, and it leads to, we live in just like a take culture that leads to the most outlandish takes possible. We are still experiencing it with Bam Adebayo, and the takes have to keep coming. We can't just say that was cool and kind of move on from the story. That's not real basketball. It's a disgrace to the NBA. That the Players' Championship kind of does this to golf. Like, it leads to people being take artists. Brando Chambly said not only is it the fifth major, it's the biggest of all the majors. And it's like, dude, all right, look. If you think
that's way too high.
If you think that it should be a fifth major, then fine. Okay, I'm not going to fight you that much. I wouldn't have that big of an issue with it, but like, let's pump the brakes just a hair.
So it's bigger than Augusta?
Bigger than Augusta, bigger than the U.S. Open, bigger than the Open Championship they've been playing since the dinosaurs existed. Like, what are we doing here?
PGA, I'm with you.
Sure.
Yeah, bigger than the PGA Championship.
Yeah, I'm not, like, the PGA will come down to where's the course and who's in the group in the final round. This one's at the same course. It's one of the most iconic on tour. So, like, yeah, you want to tell me you're more excited for this than the PGA Championship, I'm okay. Let's slow down just a little bit.
I have no problem giving a good hot take. It's when you give me a bad hot take where I'm like, okay, now you're just generating noise to generate noise.
Now you're just saying words to say words, knowing that people will react to your crazy words that you're saying.
Well, it's kind of ridiculous. I had nothing on the show sheet today about Bam.
Yeah.
I thought we talked a half hour about it. We, kind of intertwined it throughout the show a little bit.
We emptied the bag on Bam yesterday.
I don't have any more takes. The crazy thing to me is hearing Gordon Hayward, who was just on the show before us.
Yeah, that Gordon Hayward.
Who, by the way, was in the NBA a season ago, 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, when was his last year in the NBA?
It was the year before OKC won, because that was their big trade deadline move.
23-24 in OKC.
So
you are correct.
Just in the NBA.
He was traded from Charlotte to OKC, and that move flopped, and they lost in the playoffs, and then he retired.
Him getting on a national radio show and being asked about Bam and saying it's not good for the NBA.
No, this is a mockery.
The league is already bad enough. And then acting, he just had an aura to him of he's like he played in the 80s.
He played against Karl Malone, 90s. Don't you know? He went head-to-head against Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Him and Robert Parrish were teammates back in the day.
Why is he acting like that?
It's
like we didn't just watch you put a uniform on 2 seasons ago.
It's really funny when sports almost can't get out of their own way because, look, we can debate some of the decisions that were made late in that game. Unequivocally, it was a cool night for the NBA. Like, it was a moment to have an opportunity to say, dude, we're not talking about tanking. We're not talking about purposely losing guys. We're not talking about a team who's up by double digits, sitting their players in the fourth quarter. Do guys want to play, not play? They're not on national TV. It was a night to just be like, damn, how about that was wild. That was crazy. Let's appreciate it for a moment. And instead, we've spent the last 72 hours tearing each other apart.
Well, if your whole thing is like, oh, it's the ethical thing, and then it's also like, oh, is it good for Bam to be the guy to pass Kobe Bryant because he's not a scorer in the way Kobe was?
Right.
If your whole thing is to do that fine, have the opinion. I'm not going to change your mind. My counter to you is, yeah, well, it's still good. And if you go, no, it's not. I'm like, were you going to talk about Wizards Heat otherwise?
No, I didn't even know they were playing.
Right.
I had no idea they were playing on a Tuesday night.
90% of America didn't know they were playing. Are you kidding me? I didn't know they were playing.
I didn't pay attention to it until you texted me and told me he had 83 points. I was never going to look at that score. You could have come in, if that didn't happen, you could have come in the opening segment and say, who did the Miami Heat play last night? And I would have told you, I have no idea.
Did people do this when newspapers were their form of media? Did they open the paper and read something and then like everybody went to the watering hole and gave hot takes?
I don't know. So this led to, there was somebody who had a take yesterday that was basically like the current climate that we live in almost doesn't allow, and I was trying to rack my brain and think, but I'm not very smart. doesn't allow for iconic moments to happen the way that they used to.
No, we have to find a way to crap on it.
We
half
do,
the time.
and you also have the ability to react to it in real time,
Right.
and then debate, anonymous strangers online about it. When it was the point of somebody brought up like the death of Sports Illustrated, killing it a little bit because you used to have the big event. And then what would happen the next week? You would get the cover on Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
There would be an in-depth article about it, and you would kind of
You'd have
relive
your
it
local
again.
sports columnist or somebody.
Yes.
You get
They
the
would have a
angles and
chance to
behind-the-scenes
digest
stuff.
it
And you're like,
behind the
wow. And then
scenes.
you would kind of look
Yeah.
at it from different angles, and
Yep.
it would be a story that would live for a week or two, and that doesn't really exist anymore. And I was trying to think of something in the modern era that flew in the face of that, and there haven't been a lot. Like, to certain players or teams, winning things will always be a big deal. Like, championship moments will still linger.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, like, iconic moments like that the Kobe game was, everybody remembers the Kobe game when he went for 80 points against the Raptors. We talked about it for
But
weeks.
mostly nobody watched it.
No,
That's
because
the
it
funny
was the
thing
same
about-
thing. It
yes.
was on a league pass game. It wasn't a nationally televised game.
I do remember. I'm pretty sure. I say this pretty confidently that the NBA TV picked it up because they had caught wind in the fourth quarter
He's
that
at
he was like
50,
60 or 70
right.
or something. And so I'm pretty sure.
And then he took their last 17 shots, but he did it ethically.
Right. But the game was closer. He needed to do that. I'm
Keep
like,
shooting.
Oh, he shot. I had to shoot all the team shots.
Keep shooting.
But I also didn't care. I was like,
No.
damn, 81 points in a game? That is insane. And by the way, that was like, I think in the midst of he scored 60 in like 8 straight game runs.
Just went wild for a week stretch.
You don't remember that stretch?
I don't remember the stretch. I remember the Raptor game, but I don't remember the stretch around it.
Yeah, I think that was that season. If not, it was the season before. But he had a run where he scored
It's all they
like
got,
60 or more
Yeah.
in like 8 or 9 straight games. It
Right.
was something absolutely nuts that made no sense.
Let's see if I can find the game log around
Yeah,
it.
look at you.
So it's
you'll be able to find it.
2006 when it happened.
Yeah, the 81-point game.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
2006. I'm going to look up his game log around January of
I think the
2006.
thing I'm talking about was a little before that.
Mm.
His little run of 60 points or
I mean, that's
whatever
still
it was.
insane, dude. Like, to go for, to have a stretch where you're going.
Well-
that's also the era of the Lakers where they had nothing, and that was before they built their title team back up, and he was the only scorer.
But also, how much of this has to do with the way our pop culture, political culture, and sports cultures are kind of intertwined too?
Yeah.
How much I mean, you talk about events and not being able to appreciate them. Just take the most recent massive one of Team USA winning gold for the first time in 40 years and
Very
beating
true.
Canada and
Very true.
like feeling so ecstatic about watching them achieve that.
Right.
And then instantly we see the behind-the-scenes locker room video, and you get half the country, a little more than half the country, it just becomes a different conversation
Right.
instead of
Takes on a different life for that.
yeah.
Instead
And
of just appreciating the sport.
I
Yeah.
don't even know in the past, like if something like that happened, was there a U.S. president that called a landline in a locker room and they didn't record it and we just never knew?
Probably.
You know what I
yeah.
mean? We never knew about it.
It didn't
though.
go viral immediately after the
Yes.
game because there's not cameras like that. You get pictures, but it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Not everybody's recording on their cell phone and posting it Instagram Live.
Well, and it's also the most politically divided
Sure.
almost any of us have ever experienced or seen ever
Yeah.
in our lives. And so I think there's a big mixed problem of politics, choosing when and not to. Sports shouldn't be involved. Now sports should be involved. No, sports shouldn't be involved. Now sports should be involved.
Right.
And it usually goes whatever color, right?
Right.
But
if they're saying something you believe in, you want politics in your sports. If they're
Yes.
saying something you disagree with, you want politics out of sports. Shut
yeah,
up and dribble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of this is, too, it's just culturally, a lot of these events, they somehow find themselves intertwined, and political culture now is where people, politicians aren't even working for people anymore. They're working for profits for themselves and these big, donors and these other organizations that just give them money and money and money to never care about helping people.
Yeah.
And so you got individuals, not representatives.
Yes.
And so I think a lot of this is just you're crossing over so many realms of life that's partly why we don't get to enjoy and just say, hey, man,
He wouldn't have for
how
83.
about on that random Tuesday night? Bam
wild,
Adebayo
dude.
scored 83 of all the
Yeah.
players. Like, that should have just been what the conversation was. Instead, you've got all these people screaming, Well, I don't know, man. He wasn't a scorer like Kobe. This isn't good for the sport. It just like it got so stupid and ridiculous.
It did.
And to hear that even this morning still, I'm like, God, we're still doing this?
Makes me defend something like that even more, even though I did joke about the mockery at the end of the
You
game
did.
because it was a little ridiculous, but it was still cool, and both things can be true simultaneously. It's making me almost get rid of the first stance and just appreciate it more. I also didn't know, like, moments like this allow me an opportunity to learn more. I've known Bam for, not personally, obviously, but we've known of Bam forever. We should have drafted him. That's one of the biggest mistakes Neil O'Shea ever made.
Dude, that's an underrated thing we didn't bring up yesterday was that was a player a lot of us wanted them to
draft. We had 3 first-round picks. We traded up and took Zach Collins, and Bam went like, what did he go, 3 or 4 picks after that? Like, yay, Neil. Whoa. That's awesome. Franchise cornerstone. Is he even in the league anymore? It doesn't matter.
He is. He just got injured. I remember going into that.
He did? No.
Yeah. Going in that draft, we talked about Bam Adebayo, and I was like, I would love it if they got Bam Adebayo.
But he's a little undersized for a 4, Sprague. I don't know. He's going to hang in the NBA. I don't know about that. But we've obviously known of him from Kentucky and in the NBA for a long time. I didn't know the backstory of like where he grew up, and you shared the story yesterday, and I saw a lot of people echo it.
Trailer park guy,
the trailer park kid, and he had a picture in his locker when he was at Kentucky, and he'd be in the gym in the middle of the night, and Calipari would say, "What the hell are you doing here?" And he'd point at the trailer park and say, "That's what I'm doing here. I'm getting out of that." And so it gave me an opportunity to appreciate and learn more about an athlete who's been one of the best players in the NBA for a long time. Team USA won a gold medal in was that 2020? I think he was on the gold medal team. So I appreciate those angles of it. By the way, Kobe's month, it wasn't a bunch of 60-point games.
What was it?
But it is pretty wild.
What year was it, by the way?
So it's 2006, the month of January.
Yeah.
His point totals in the month of January, 48, 50, 45, 41, 27, 38, 37, 51, 37, 81, 30, 39, 40.
That's insane.
He averaged for the month. Now, 81 is going to help a little bit. He averaged 43.5 points for the month of January in 2006.
I'm trying to find – I feel like he had another one because my buddy was a huge Kobe stan. And he had anything Kobe.
Yes.
And so we ended up seeing that 81-point game live on NBA TV. And he had everything Kobe. And, yeah, here it is. In 07, he had a 4-game streak.
So the next year, got it.
Of 50-plus points, including a 60-point game. He scored 65, 50, 60, and 50. Consecutively.
How many shots in each of those games, too? Because, again, that was the Laker era. I believe that was before Gasol, right? He might have come in 2007, but I don't think he got – they started winning again right when he got there.
He probably wasn't the most efficient player because efficiency was a much different conversation back then.
That didn't matter back then. You could chuck as many times as you want. That was ethical.
Efficiency back then was like – efficiency was defined by your best players shooting the most.
Yes, just get
that was efficient.
So, like what the Miami Heat did with Bam Adebayo, was that pretty efficient because the rest of the team's not that good right now, at least, or a little banged up?
I mean, it didn't need to be stupid. And to your point on Bam, like Bam is such a well-respected, good dude.
Yes.
That I would just think in society in general, we'd find ways to say, dude, this guy is a great guy. And, like, how cool a moment is this? Look at him. He's crying. He's giving respect to Kobe Bryant. By the way, you know what video circulated yesterday? Kobe Bryant, yeah, the game was made for people to break all the records. I hope my stuff gets broken someday. Said that in 2020.
That's the whole point.
The Kobe stands right here crying, thinking conspiracy theory happened in a Wizards Heat game.
What is it with NBA players in their stands? Do we have stands? I mean, I know we do.
That one's the most different of all of them. You can
more than MJ, you think?
Yeah.
You think so?
Because MJ, at least, like, I get the MJ thing. I don't always
buy.
Black cat.
Yeah,
the black cat. I think some of it is a little romanticized.
Yes.
I think what we hold against other players, we just completely omit for him. But I get it, man. He's the first major branded athlete to ever exist. We never had commercials and branding the way that we had with him. Well, Ali was different. And then he won 6 championships.
And never lost.
And he retired, and he came back. He had 2 3-peats. I get all of that. I get it. LeBron, makes sense to me. You can say him being the GOAT is dumb, and that's where they reach too far. Kobe stans are truly different, unique people. Like, hard to put into words what a Kobe stan is.
I just am trying to think, like, we obviously have our fandoms in the NFL and teams and players that we root for.
A Kobe stan is the middle brother.
Are there Brady stans? Like, is that person
No.
Brady wouldn't even be a good example because he's the GOAT for most people. Like, I'm trying to think of somebody who, Like, are there Dan Marino stands out there that anytime a Dan Marino conversation is brought up, you get these people crawling out from their holes to argue in favor of Dan Marino?
I don't think we have.
Like, we don't have that
quarterback stands.
I don't think we do. Why is it just an NBA thing? It's really weird for me.
No, it's just the 72 Dolphins players. That's
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
They'll pop champagne every time a team
there.
loses. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Outside of that, it's just there's something. We don't have this in baseball. There's like one player. Like, if there's a guy on your team, you will cape up for your guy. You know, Mariner fans will always argue for Griffey being like, I get it. Like, he was the face of he's the best player ever.
Look,
in your franchise's history.
I mean, no disrespect here. I have 3 brothers, but we didn't all grow up together.
Yeah.
By definition, I'm technically a middle child.
Yes.
Kobe fans are middle children.
So the oldest child is MJ, the youngest child is LeBron,
Yeah.
and the middle one's just
out here,
arguing
"Look
for
at
attention.
me. I'm as good as the oldest.
What about me?
I'm better than the youngest. That's a Kobe stan.
Being a stand for a player is just a very interesting thing.
Yeah, it is.
very
I mean, you
unique
can
thing.
love a player. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
acting like they're the GOAT at all times, every single second.
How dare you step on his 81-point record? Bam.
Don't do that. All right, we got a lot to get to today. Let's start in the National Football League. We'll work our way through some of the stuff, give you an update on the Players' Championship as the show goes on. We'll start with the NFL moves from yesterday. Will this recent trend occur again? I'll tell you what I'm talking about next on The Fan.
6:30 a.m.
All right, welcome back in. Dirt and Sprague with you. Dirt sharing his hatred for Akshay Bhatia.
Not wearing his hand warmer this morning, huh? Marshmallow soft. Is it warm enough for you, Akshay?
So I want to ask you if you think a recent trend. Now, this is something that happens from time to time. It seems to happen, and then it goes away, and then it comes back, and then it goes away in the National Football League. And a move yesterday is what triggered this from my thought on it. So the New England Patriots signed Kevin Byard, who led the league last year in interceptions.
Yes, they did.
1 year, 1 year, $9 million deal.
Yes.
He's 32 years old, so he's a little up there in the old age ladder.
But still something in the tank, obviously.
But still a good player.
Right.
He had a great year last year, right? So
Yes,
you're
he
kind of
was.
banking he has another good year.
It's 1 year deal. What the hell? Low risk. See what you get out of him.
They signed Romeo Doubs as well. We didn't talk about that one.
Yes, they did. They
And
needed a weapon.
I love that. I don't know if I've made that pretty clear, but I'm a big Romeo Doubs guy.
If he can stay healthy, man, they clearly were ready to move on from the Stephon Diggs drama era and all the things that were going on off the field with him, not to mention his injury history as well. And so if you're changing out number one wide receivers from Stephon Diggs to Romeo Doubs, I would take Doubs any day of the week at this point in their careers.
Yeah, so they've added some guys, some offensive linemen, some defensive guys.
Yep.
They're starting to kind of stack it up. Elijah Vera Tucker was the guard they picked up on a 3-year, $42 million deal.
Yep.
And look, they were one of those teams, and you said this throughout the playoffs. I didn't want to disrespect them. I was an idiot. You were right. They found their way into the Super Bowl, and they couldn't hang. Point blank.
Yeah. Still a tremendous season. Like, to be asked to win a Super Bowl in year one of an era under a coach, in year two of a quarterback, is not an easy thing to do.
Well, what we know is going to happen is the schedule is going to get harder.
Yes, it is.
And the recent trend in the National Football League, we are going to go into the third straight season, potentially, but the two previous losers of the Super Bowl have failed to make the playoffs. And I just want to ask you, do you think this trend, because again, this trend comes and it goes. It happens,
Yeah, it
and
does.
then it goes away for a while because good teams are good.
Right.
New England, you are out on them and making the playoffs in our early post-Super Bowl predictions. I don't
Yeah.
know if you're going to change your mind. You may.
We'll see how the rest of the offseason goes, yeah.
But just what they've added and the difficult task of assuming they're going to be back in the thick of it versus may suffer some setbacks because maybe Elijah Vera Tucker isn't as good. Kevin Byard ages the hell out of
Right.
himself. Romeo Doubs, for whatever reason, it just doesn't work in the first year of the deal. I'm just curious where you're at on the trend of the last two Super Bowl losers
Yeah.
did not make the playoffs in the Niners and the Chiefs. And now we go into a third year, New England coming off of a blowout Super Bowl.
It's funny because when you look at, it's not even just the Super Bowl thing, although that is valid because the Chiefs 2 years ago go, lose, don't make the playoffs the next year. And I do think that will be New England next year, although we'll see what they do the rest of the offseason. It's even more widespread than that. Like, if you look at top of the NFC 2 years ago, Detroit was the 1 seed. How'd their year go last year?
Didn't make it.
Philadelphia won the Super Bowl. Now, I
Yep.
know they made the playoffs. They couldn't beat a mash unit 49ers team. The Minnesota Vikings won 14 games and then missed the playoffs. Obviously, the quarterback changed. And then the team that was somewhat similar to New England that was ahead of schedule and peaked far earlier than anybody imagined would have been the Commies. The Commies were the talk of the NFL. At this point a year ago, we were all under the assumption, here comes Washington. They have the next great young quarterback. Look out. And their season was an unmitigated disaster. And so a lot of this is health. But even if you go out and are active in the offseason, we talked about the Commanders last offseason adding Deebo Samuel and other players to the mix of like, hey, that's a nice weapon. Look at that. They're going to fit well in what they're trying to do. And it still didn't matter. And they might fire their entire coaching staff this year. And so here's what I try and lean on. If you have something as a team, the way that you're built, that you can be carried by through the highs and lows of a season, and I think there's a prime example of this. One of the teams that has been that kind of, jumped up to the top of the standings and hasn't really gone anywhere, but they haven't been able to get over the hump. But the reason they're still there is they're elite in one category. That is the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans with Stroud, they draft Will Anderson and Stroud. They make the playoffs. Where do they come from? Oh, my God. And it hasn't been perfect the last 2 years, but what have they done the last 2 years?
Divisional round.
They've made the playoffs, and they've won a playoff game.
Yep.
And so, but they have one of the best defenses in the NFL that can carry them. And it doesn't matter the highs and lows of the offense. The defense will always give them a chance to win games. And if you feel that way about New England's defense, then by all means tell me you think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're good defensively. I don't think they're the Houston Texans defensively. And so if your offense slips just a little bit, or you get an injury here, or you try to tweak your offensive line and it didn't get corrected, and oh, by the way, now you have a target on your back and your schedule's harder next year, it's just a really hard reality to live in the NFL. Half of the playoff teams from this year will not make it next year. It happens every year in the league, and we never want to think, well, that won't happen to them. There's no way. And then it happens at the end of the year. So I'm not backing off of the take. I think Mike Vrabel's a hell of a coach. I'm a believer in Drake May as a quarterback. I just think the landscape of the AFC is going to be a little bit different next year. I think Kansas City will be better. I think Baltimore, if they stay healthy, will be better. Buffalo's not going anywhere. You got the Broncos who are back, the Chargers who are going to hopefully be healthy on the offensive line. I just think the landscape of the AFC is going to lead to more of this than I'm predicting a fall off from Drake May or the organization.
Which team has had the better offseason to you so far, Buffalo or New England? Because I think New England has.
Probably, yeah. But I also would rather have Josh Allen as my quarterback over Drake May, and I will give Josh Allen the credit every year to be a playoff team because he's a playoff quarterback every year.
Yeah, Buffalo's just, it's been odd. I want to get to them, but
yeah.
I do want to also point out yesterday it came out. I mean, we kind of knew this was going to happen, but it was finally reported because Kyler got released. Minnesota intends to sign Kyler Murray. They may break during our show.
He's visiting, I think, today, right? He's visiting.
Correct.
Now, I did see a report from a guy in Arizona who said he doesn't think he's going to sign today and that he thinks he's going to take his time over the weekend visiting other teams, too.
Yeah, that's a smart way to go about it. You're a free agent. You might as well take advantage of that. But I saw a report basically like Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, they want him.
He's identified him. That's his guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy he wants to try to change all this with and get back into the postseason dance with.
Right, and they got a great defense and one of the best, if not the best, wide receivers in the NFL, and maybe that's the right spot for him to relaunch his comeback career. I certainly would rather have Kyler Murray as my starting quarterback over J.J. McCarthy right now.
Yeah, no,
there's no debate there.
I'll be curious to see about that. I was just reading a piece on O'Connell, and people even give O'Connell some of the Stafford stuff, and I'm just kind of like, what? What?
Because of who his quarterback is, you mean?
Yeah, he's just a quarterback whisperer guy.
Yeah. He's great. He's
trending between Shanahan and LaFleur for me personally. He's been given so much credit and okay, general manager, that was bad. He's gone. Your team was terrible last year.
Yeah.
And if this is the guy you choose, all right, let's see it. And I'm excited to see it. I think Kyler is better than Niner. I'd take Kyler over Niner.
Of course.
But O'Connell's just an interesting coach to me. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah.
It's just how much some guys get credit for versus other guys criticize. Stefanski was this for me a while. It's just like every year, well, they got a good coach. I'm like, are you sure?
Two-time coach of the year.
I know they're the Browns, but at what point is the coach at all responsible for wins and losses? My God.
It is also a reminder, too, that I think his standing as an offensive mind is debatable, right? And I certainly would put him near the top of the list, but where do you rank him? Who knows? Mm-hmm. It's also a reminder, and I think there's other examples, and you pointed to some, that no matter how good of an offensive coach you are and how smart you are on that side of the ball, if you're extremely limited at that position, it does not matter.
Nothing in your playbook
Kyle
matters.
Shanahan has had years where quarterbacks have gone down and they've had to play C.J. Beathard and they couldn't win a game, right? They traded for Trey Lance, who was Nick Mullins. Yeah. They traded for Trey Lance, who was a top 5 pick, and he's
a bust.
Kyle Shanahan couldn't do anything
make
with him.
Good, yeah.
And that's why John Gruden has the great take of they should build Brock Purdy a statue, because without Brock Purdy, who knows where that organization is at right now,
right,
and where they would have gone at quarterback. And so he got a lot out of Kirk Cousins. He got a lot out of Sam Darnold in a year. It did not work with J.J. McCarthy, and I don't know if that's a O'Connell problem or just J.J. McCarthy generationally sucks.
No, I know.
And he's never going to be good. That's a difficult part of it.
Yes.
And if he is to get a lot out of Kyler Murray, this argument's only going to grow stronger. If Murray comes out next year and looks awesome,
then
it's like,
there
dude,
you go.
Here we go. Brilliant offensive mind, and he's the quarterback whisperer.
It's not even that I don't think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's more just like the coach, winning, losing, the pressure, all that stuff. LaFleur has been sitting in this gravy train of, he's the next young chosen one. And I'm like, he hasn't even, what?
Has he been to an NFC title game? Yeah, they went with Rodgers, and they lost. That's right. He went for...
Is that the Brady game?
That was the field goal down by 8 game.
No, they were up 5, chose to go for the field goal, right?
I thought they were down and chose to kick a field goal, but maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe you're right. Maybe
and then they never
8,
got the ball back.
And he chose for the field goal to be down 5.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? It's a one-score game.
Well, it's 4th and 7. We didn't like our chances. What? How does a field goal help
he's
you?
Lucky because I think that stadium was empty that season because of COVID.
I think it was a COVID.
He would have got booed off the field for that decision.
Boo this man. Boo him.
Let's stick in the NFL. And let's talk about a couple contenders that have made some moves yesterday and what we make of it. We'll get to that next on The Fan.
Now, Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Mixed plates like Grandma used to make if your grandma were from the Big Island. Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. First on the Fan. After having his trade to the Ravens nixed at the 11th hour, defensive end Max Crosby appears to be content staying with the Raiders this season with all the newly acquired players so far. 49ers sent a third-round pick to the Cowboys for former David Douglas Scott, Owa Odigizua. Ducks Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota has re-signed with the Commanders, 1 year, $7 million. 3 more automatic NCAA bids handed out Wednesday night. McNeese State wins the Southland, beating Stephen F. Austin 76-59. Lehigh is your Patriot League champion with a 74-60 win over Boston University. And in the Big Sky, 7th-seeded Idaho took down Montana 77-66 to punch their ticket to the tournament. Quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic all set. The United States is safely through to the knockout round thanks to Italy's 9-1 rout of Mexico Wednesday night. Vinny Pasquantino jacked 3 home runs to lead the Italian attack. U.S. will face Canada on Friday. Italy gets Puerto Rico. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan. 80 a.m.
Look, I will always root for the guy. He's one of the all-time greats for Oregon State, and he just got a massive bag. Isaac Seumalo was asked why he's going from Pittsburgh to the Arizona Cardinals. Quote, "I'll be honest with you, money's good, but the biggest part is I want to win, and I want to win with a team that wants me here."
I mean,
It's a lot of helmet-to-helmet in the middle of those offensive lines, man. You watched the Cardinals.
I understand his sentiment about what's going on in Pittsburgh right now.
Sure.
And that would have had
we don't
some
have a quarterback.
substance
Yeah.
had he not gone to Arizona.
He could have just said, "I'll be honest with you, money's good, end." Because I think he got one of the highest paid interior
what did
offensive
it
line.
end up being? What
3
was
for 31.
Yeah. Also, could you just add in?
Absolutely paid.
Could you add into getting paid is nice? Also, have you ever been to Scottsdale?
Yeah, I mean, he could have just said all of those. I'm closer to home. I'm in Scottsdale.
I'm living in 20-degree Pittsburgh here. You want me to live in Scottsdale and make $10 million a year? Yes, sir.
Once we get through September, exactly.
It's going to be perfect. Yeah.
I'm going to ask his dad. His dad just got back to Oregon State. I'm going to ask his dad this if I ever talk to him. Yo, your
Go down
son
there,
really
cover
out there
practice.
just lying, right? He got paid.
That's somebody that's had a lot of microphones in his face over the years.
No doubt.
Hey, Isaac, nobody believes you, but that's all right. Congrats on the contract.
The 49ers made a trade yesterday.
They did.
They made a trade with Swag's once beloved Dallas Cowboys. How about that? Rivals making trades. Cowboys defensive tackle Osa Odigizua is going from Dallas in exchange for a 2026 third-round draft pick. He was on the he just got into the first year of an $80 million deal. It was 4 years, $80 million, 39 fully guaranteed. Dallas will absorb $16 million in dead money is part of that deal, and the Niners needed interior defensive line help. They
desperately.
Well, they had the worst defensive pass rush in National Football League. I mean, they were terrible, and so
injuries didn't help, but you could also use a few more bodies.
He'll be joining Alfred Collins, C.J. West, both second-year tackles. That was one benefit for the Niners with the injuries. A lot of young guys got to play for them, and so we'll see where their development is going to be. But Odigizua is going from Dallas to the San Francisco 49ers. I listened to a little Dallas radio this morning because I was kind of curious.
Hey, what's the reaction down there?
They basically are like, this is fine. I don't even care that we lost him. I thought he underwhelmed. And then they morphed into a conversation of, our defense hasn't gotten better this offseason. And I went,
you just traded away a player who was relatively high role on the defense, but all right.
I mean, look, his sack numbers weren't great for Dallas last year, but if you look at it like the quarterback pressures, he ranked in the top 5 according to most websites. So we'll see if it works for the Niners, but Dallas willing to trade one of the DTs they just signed to a 4-year, $80 million deal 1 year later.
It's one of those kind of stat lines when you look at the analytics. It helps put into a little bit of context, right, where maybe the sack numbers weren't great, but the pressure rate is solid. So it tells you that you're winning a lot, you're close, but maybe the numbers weren't there to completely back it up. It also helps to play with different guys around you. And how many times in the NFL do we see a player go from one spot in one scheme to another spot in another scheme, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, where was that? I mean, it happens constantly.
Well, how big a difference does
it
make when Micah Parsons, who's probably occupying either the tight end or the running back,
is no longer there,
isn't there, and that
so
guy
you don't think Gary can fill that void?
I'm not saying that he can. I'm just saying from the stats of hey, where were his sack numbers, losing Micah Parsons right before the season started might have impacted that a little bit, right? And so
he's also a DT. Like, why do we act like DTs should have the same amount of sacks as edge guys?
It's hard to. Those are the guys who I think analytically it's best to analyze because the numbers on the box score don't jump off the page in terms of tackles for loss and sacks because they just don't pile up a lot for interior
How many double
guys.
teams did he eat up on a regular basis?
And a linebacker is free to go make a tackle for loss. Like, there's another metric to look at it. But I also I will just appreciate the idea. We can debate and, is what the 49ers are doing the right move? They're an aging roster with a lot of guys who are coming off injuries, and they live next to a substation that will kill all their players in 5 years. So it's not a great spot, according to some. But I will always appreciate we're going this direction whether you like it or not, and we're going all the way that way. So Mike Evans is at it. He's a veteran receiver. We don't know what his health will be. He's older. It's a 1-year deal, prove it. But they're clearly going in that regard of we feel like we're there. We're adding veterans to the mix. We're not – I'd rather have a known commodity, a defensive tackle for the next year or two than a third-round pick who we don't know if he's going to come in and impact right away. They are clearly pushing the ball forward and saying we feel like our window is still open. Let's try and get over the hump.
Well, I'm always curious to see the teams that quite get over that hump and that competed and come close. Like, we know Buffalo is one of these teams. They're going to be back next year because they've got Josh Allen. They signed Bradley Chubb yesterday to a 3-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Bradley Chubb has not rated very well. I think there was one website that rated him 100 out of 150 defensive edge rushers.
That's
in the
not
National
very
Football
good,
League.
Bob. That's not very good.
Well, my whole thing on Buffalo is just like, between Buffalo and San Francisco, who do you think has had the better offseason? Because these are the moves along with the draft. Like, these are the moves that, like, you have your pieces in place for the most part, and it's these little additions. I don't buy that, getting in 10 free agent signings, the Dream Team Eagles thing is the right solution here. But there's no doubt that if you sign the right couple, 2-3 guys,
right,
it can take your team and put it over the edge. And so,
not to mention what's going to happen in about a month when we get a draft.
Right.
And if you hit on 3 or 4 guys from the draft, all of a sudden your stock changes next year.
The DJ Moore price, and I like DJ Moore. I think DJ Moore is a good player. I think he's going to work really well with Josh Allen. So I don't hate the deal. I also understand why people think he paid a premium price for maybe not a top 25 receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And Bradley Chubb, it just smells like,
Seems like they've done that a lot.
Couldn't
with
pay
aging.
Hendrickson. Don't want to trade for Crosby.
Right.
Let's just go. Bradley Chubb was good against us once when he was in Miami. Like,
You're right.
I don't know. It smells like settling.
It feels
kind of how it feels.
It feels like they've done that a lot at edge rusher, by the way. Like, it feels like a lot of times they've gone out for the vet who is 2 or 3 years past his prime, and the idea and the name is intriguing. And then there's not a lot of, like, Von Miller and Bosa. Like, they've had a lot of guys like that over the years. So maybe this is the next in line. I think the also difficult part about Buffalo and San Francisco is they're in the same category of, we know they're good. We know they're going to be in the mix next year if they stay healthy. Although the Niners didn't stay healthy last year, they were still in the mix with the 3rd best record in the NFC. But they're looking for the piece that will give them the ultimate prize. It's not like, how do we go from a wild card team to a division winner? That's a much easier jump. It's a harder jump to go from, we've been around, we've been in conference championships. In the Niners' case, we've been in Super Bowls. How do we get the one missing piece to put us over the hump? So you ask me who had a better season, I'd lean San Francisco, slightly lean that direction. We'll see what happens with Trent Williams, because I don't know what they do on the offensive line without him, although it seems like he will sign a new deal. That's what the intel is saying lately. But I also would give Buffalo more of a chance to do it next year because of who their quarterback is, and I think he's just going to have him in the mix every year. Now, if they've done enough around him, I don't know. It's just, it's funny that both those teams are in that same category of they've been great.
But he needs an elite defense, right?
He does.
17 needs an elite defense.
I don't even know if it needs to be elite. You just need a really good defense. You don't need to be the Houston Texans to win with Josh Allen as your quarterback. You need to be really good on that side of the ball.
You might need it to win the Super Bowl.
You
Maybe
might.
not.
Depends on who the matchup is by the time you get there, right? Every matchup's going to be a little bit different.
I keep looking back at Buffalo, and they have Allen, so they're going to be in the thick of it, but I don't know. There's a part of me, it's like, you fired McDermott and kept him.
Yep. GM's still there. You just promoted the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe that's the right move. I have to wait and see on that. I have no answer to it, but
it does feel, I think everything they've done has felt a little panicky, a little like it was necessary to react this aggressively, but also I'm not living in that city and dealing with the heartbreak again of losing a playoff game and what the reaction would have been had we just run it all back again next year.
Well, they just got through having Bosa for 2 seasons. Like,
right.
Is Chubb going to come in and be...
No. It's the same as Von Miller. It's the same as Bosa. Like, that's who they've got.
Okay, but that's kind of what I'm saying, though. It just feels like...
And I would say even with those, they were a review away on a first down from winning the AFC 2 years ago.
I know, but they keep being whatever away from winning the AFC. It's becoming a trend. It's not... It's the norm. It's not a blip.
Yeah.
You know, it's a couple inches from Kansas City.
Right.
It's a catch, no catch against Denver. It's 13 seconds. The entire run so far has felt like, well, they're only this far away, so this is not that important. And I'm like, I totally hear you. You might end up being right this season.
It's the hope of reshuffling the deck, and this time the cards show up the way that you want them to.
But how about you do give me the Houston defense? How about you make a concerted effort to get close to being the Houston defense, and then maybe I don't have to need Josh Allen to pick up 2 inches, complete an 18-yard pass, or the 13-second play never happens because your defense is Houston.
You get a stop.
That's all my point is. And we'll see how it goes. I don't feel great about him as a general manager, but you got Josh Allen, so you might be all right.
The reality, too, that the Seattle Seahawks showed us is that if you somehow pull a rabbit out of your hat at the end of April, it can change the landscape for your team next year. And so that's the case for San Francisco. It's the case for Buffalo. A lot of these teams that are on the brink of like, man, you hit on your 1 and your 2 and a random like 5th-round pick pops in year 1 for you. Just like that, it can totally change the landscape of your roster.
We'll pivot out of the National Football League. We have a sports bracket. Are we going to fill it out? Let's get to that coming up next on The Fan.
AM.
Quick update. Colin Morikawa has withdrawn from the Players' Championship, citing a back issue. So he gone.
Bye-bye, Colin. Is Rory playing? I didn't see an update on that yesterday. I know he showed up yesterday, but
he's in the afternoon wave,
so he's going to warm up and see how it goes.
He's certainly going to give it a shot.
What's he dealing with?
That same thing. He withdrew last week at Arnold Palmer after the first or second round. I can't remember. He withdrew early in the tournament, and he was hopeful to play it. He showed up yesterday, but I hadn't seen an update yet.
Teed off this morning, so it's underway. Players' Championship over there in Florida. It is March.
Yes, it is.
We've got high school basketball bracket.
Semifinals. PIL still alive. Let's go Benson, baby.
Dude, Benson's got this phenom freshman kid.
They're not the Techmen anymore?
They're Astros.
The Astros.
I think there's a...
When did that happen?
I don't know.
7 years ago?
Really?
I think there's a...
Yeah, I got to text
Actually,
Crawford
never
about that.
reached out why.
What's wrong with Techmen?
I always thought they were a technical school.
They were a trade school, but you know what I mean.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend and say that it's good or bad.
It's Techmen.
I'm not diving in those waters today.
Okay. I was seeing Krupke's tweet from the playoffs yesterday. I'm like, this is cool.
The
And I was
Benson Astros
watching the
throws me
highlight, and I'm
off.
like, the Astros won. The Astros won?
By the way, Astros?
Houston? What?
I feel like Benson's not an Astro.
At least when Lewis and Clark got rid of the Pioneers, which evidently, all right. What did they go with? The River Otters?
River Otters.
Like that's a good
It's a good
spinoff.
solution.
You know, that's better than the Guardians. You chose wisely.
Why couldn't you be the Benson Badasses? Way better than the Astros.
I
would
want to
stick
be
with-
at that school board meeting.
Stick with the B though. Something B would be awesome.
What's a bee that isn't a beaver?
The Benson Bandits.
Ooh,
No, can't do that. Too offensive. Beavers, you can't be beavers.
You got
a
Badgers.
lot of memories by Lloyd
Badgers,
Center.
Benson Badgers.
Should be the Badgers.
Lloyd Center and Benson and
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Bandit. There was some
Bandits.
stuff going on.
I feel like
Could be
Bandits
the
is an
Bengals.
underused Bengals.
The Bengals isn't awful.
Get some stripes over
Some
your
blue
helmet.
and orange stripes.
That's
Yeah.
badass. It's a great
That's not
look.
bad. That's not a good idea by you.
There's a lot of good coverage for Benson High School.
Oh, they're they're like a 17 seed.
The
They beat
17th
Southridge
seed.
on a buzzer beater.
PIL's back, baby.
So you got that bracket. You've got the women's high school bracket. You got these small conference tournament brackets. You know what's coming out soon? The NCAA bracket.
Yes, it is next week.
Have you
Sunday.
printed out your World Baseball quarterfinal brackets?
I have not. No.
No?
I know who we play, but I don't really know who we would play if we win the game. I couldn't tell you.
Shout out Italy and their espresso machine
Yes.
yesterday for getting us in because, we didn't even know if we were in or not.
It is kind of funny, though. I saw one of the great tweet yesterday that was like, let me get this straight. I'm an American baseball fan, and now in order to continue to root for American baseball, I have to root for a bunch of Italians who were born in America to beat a bunch of Mexicans who were born in America.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And it happened yesterday. They did.
they
They
did.
got the job done.
They won 9-1. They beat Mexico, so there's no doubt about it. And now the bracket, the mighty World Baseball Classic bracket is set. You've got Korea against the Dominican Republic.
Jung Ho Lee, my guy.
You've got Puerto Rico against that Italy squad.
Yep.
You've got USA Canada.
Oh, again, different sport.
Gold medal rematch.
They have a chance to do the funniest thing possible.
Beat us in baseball.
If we beat them in the gold medal game and they respond by knocking us out in the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic, it would be really funny.
And then you've got Venezuela against Japan.
That'll be a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good quarterfinal. I don't think Canada has much of a chance to do anything. The Italians are the team that has, come out of completely nowhere.
Well, if the Italians can beat us, why can't Canada?
That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, the Italians were up 8-0 on us. They smoked us, whether we wanted to win the game or not. It didn't matter. We were still playing the game. So I tend to think we'll beat Canada, but again, I would have told you that going into the Italy game. It's a fun little quarterfinal, but no, I have not looked at the now. Who do we play if we win? Who do we get?
We
the
play
winner of?
Korea or Dominican Republic.
Ooh, that'd be a
And then
juicy
Puerto
semifinal.
Rico, Italy plays winner, Venezuela, Japan.
Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's us, Dominican Republic,
Oh.
Japan, and then what was the other one? What's the one I'm missing? Venezuela,
That's Italy, Puerto Rico.
Italy, Puerto Rico.
Italy's hot right now.
I think I'm going to take Puerto Rico.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
I'm going to take Italy to ride a heater.
Ride the
I
heater.
think so.
I'm taking
They are.
Japan.
Yes.
I'm taking us. And I'm taking Korea in an
Over the
upset.
Dominican Republic.
Over the Dominican.
Shocking upset.
Ask me to name 2 players on Korea's team.
I know one because he's a giant. Jung Ho Lee.
Yeah, there you go.
Shout out to Jung Ho Lee.
I have no
That's
idea.
all I got.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
I think USA-Japan final again? Is that where we're headed?
It'd be cool if we got it, although I certainly don't feel great after being down 8-0 to Italy.
Yeah.
That's
The
still
U.S. gonna
lingering.
do they have pitchers lined up? I guess that's the big thing.
Well, who's left if everybody's leaving for training
I
camp?
think Skeens will pitch again. He seems to have that mentality of.
Well, Scuba wanted to pitch. He wasn't allowed.
No, his agent and the team said no.
I love that
Yeah.
Skeens is just able to make his own decisions and Scuball's not.
Yeah, I don't know if we have announced who our starting. We have not announced a starting
No.
pitcher
All
yet
right.
for Canada. So
should we feel good about our odds?
I mean, I think so. Yeah,
We
from a
backed
talent
in, but
standpoint,
we got it.
we also were 3-1, so
I
it was
know.
the same record as we were the second best record, right? Because Italy went undefeated.
If you need a team, it's no different than the
Yeah.
Panthers winning their division. If you need another team to do something, you backed in. It's not that you were awful.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong there. We needed help on the final day of the group play in order
We're
to get
backing into the NBA play-in because the Grizzlies are so bad.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Although I will give Team USA a slightly better chance to win something than us to win anything in the NBA.
I think you're right on that. Absolutely.
It should be fun, though. I just hope it lives up to the hype and we get a good semifinal, quarterfinal rundown, which would be, early next week?
Friday.
Friday is when it starts, right? Then they play Friday, then over the weekend, and then I think the semis are next. Semi and title
the
are next week.
semis are next.
In the middle of the
semis are
week.
Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Semis are Sunday, and the championship's Tuesday.
There you go. I mean, baseball season starts on the 28th.
Yeah, so
we're
we have
less than 2 weeks away.
The quarterfinals are Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
The semis are Sunday, Monday, and then the final is Tuesday.
Juicy, man. I'll be watching right before the tournament begins, so it's
Yep.
perfect. And then the regular season of baseball kicks off in less than 2 weeks.
A loaded second hour, Dirt and Sprague. We're going to start with some local stuff. We got a new coach at institution, and spring football is underway. Hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan.
From the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, NFL free agency rolling on, but it's a couple of local players signing deals. 49ers moving a third-round pick to the Cowboys for former David Douglas Scott Owa Odigizua. Ducks Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota re-signing with the Commanders on a one-year deal. And Isaac Seumalo has signed a lucrative deal to join the Arizona Cardinals. Quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic all set. The United States safely through to the knockout round thanks to Italy's 9-1 rout of Mexico Wednesday. Vinny Pasquantino jacked in 3 home runs to lead the Italian attack. U.S. will face Canada on Friday. Italy will get Puerto Rico. Round one of the Players' Championship underway this morning from TPC Sawgrass Stadium course just outside of Jacksonville. And Max Grazerman has it going early, 5 under through 7. He's got a one-shot lead over Ricky Castillo. Tony Finau, Justin Thomas tied for third at 3 under. Scotty Scheffler on the course at 1 under. Rory McIlroy set to go in the afternoon wave. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for the Fan.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague here, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network, 1080 AM, 105.1 FM, the Odyssey app, YouTube. Good morning. Happy Thursday, everybody. A Magic Hat Thursday. I got audio. I'm really excited for the Magic Hat today.
Ooh, me too. I got an audio submission as well.
I had one that I totally just omitted from last week, but I think it carries over pretty well today. So we'll get to that coming up in the final hour of the radio program. Want to remind you guys before we get off and rolling here in the second hour that Fan Madness is back. You can join the Fan Thursday, March 19th and Friday, March 20th for the 2 most exciting days of basketball. A Tom's Watch Bar at Hurley and ASU. We'll be out there, the Firm Happy Hour, Prime Time, all broadcasting live throughout the day. Don't miss a minute of the action. Play hooky with the Fan. Fan Madness brought to you by Hurley and ASU, Window Nation, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Cricket Wireless, and Video Only. That's the 20th and the 19th, live out at A-Lene. Come hang.
Week from today.
Yeah, a week
the
from
tournament begins a week from today.
A week from today.
Don't anybody correct me and tell me it starts on Tuesday.
A lot to get to here in the old second hour of
Yes.
the radio program. We got some local stuff I want to get to that I kind of meant to get to yesterday, and then the entire news in sports just completely blew up, and so the show had to do an Omaha. Oregon State men's basketball officially have a new head coach.
Yes, you do.
And it's the guy that was rumored before Wayne Tinkle was even done coaching Oregon State basketball. Justin Joyner, come on down, one of the lead assistants for Michigan and Dusty May. He's been at Michigan for 2 seasons. Prior to that, he was at St. Mary's for 7 seasons with Randy Bennett. His wife, here's a fun fact, his wife is the head coach of the soccer team.
At Oregon?
At Oregon.
At Oregon, yeah.
And I
remember seeing somebody say that that's going to be a little awkward, and I'm like, I don't think that's that awkward. It's too different. They were competing against each other a little bit, but
you know what I find awkward?
You live in between. It's actually delightful to have a husband and wife who both coach who work that close together.
I look, they have great careers. Obviously,
Yeah.
he's at one of the best schools in the country, and she's a head coach of a Big Ten team. I find it odd to be married and living in different states like that.
Isn't it strange? But when you're a coach, you have to do it because you can't, if you're
I
both
get
doing
it.
it and pursuing your profession.
Yeah,
like-
one can't give it up over the other.
Right. They're both very successful at what they do. So actually, this is, I don't know what the wife's outlook is in terms of like how long she's been at Oregon. I don't know anything about Oregon soccer. So
I've heard her do interviews on the
Okay.
Duck Insider show
So
randomly.
I never heard of her before, but it's very cool. If she's going to be there a long time, it's actually maybe a great argument that if this guy wins at Oregon State, maybe he's not going to have a wandering eye for another job. That they just live in like whatever the middle point is between Corvallis and Eugene. They commute to work each way, 20 minutes each way, right? If you find a home right smack dab in the middle of it, it could be a good long-term selling point for him in Corvallis.
She became the women's soccer coach in December of 2024.
Okay,
she's
so relatively new. Last 2 years.
But Justin,
I would be curious to ask him how much that had to do with him taking this job. Lead assistant at Michigan, I'd imagine he had some options, right? There had to have been a few programs and maybe more to come in the offseason knocking on his door.
Well, here's an example for you.
Do they have kids?
They have a daughter.
Okay.
I would imagine he's going to be asked this at his press conference.
Yes.
This has to have been a huge reason you take that job because you cannot look me in the eye and tell me the lead assistant for Michigan, Dusty May, is rolling right now.
They might win a national championship.
You can't tell me that guy can't get the job at Syracuse.
They just fired their coach.
They fired their coach. This guy's a recruiter. He's young.
Or possibly Arizona State.
Or Arizona State.
And how many other openings will there be in 6 weeks?
So him taking
3 weeks.
Oregon State, to me, I know he's gonna give you the reasons why he wants Oregon State, and I just take him at his word. But a big part of this has to be that the wife is in Oregon.
Be a great spot to be in where your women's basketball program is led by the best coach maybe in the history of the school. I know that's maybe blasphemous to some, but definitely of that program. And it's his dream job, and he doesn't want to go anywhere. You're blessed to have Scott Rueck run the program.
Oh, yeah.
And now you might have a men's basketball coach who wants to be close to his wife
That
and
his
daughter.
wife just wants to be at Oregon, and he's like,
that's
cool, I'll dominate the Pac-12.
the most important thing to him, to be around his family, and he's just going to be there for the long haul.
There's also a weird scenario here because we don't know how good or bad he's going to be. I think if you were to just give me his resume and say where he's coming from, I think we can all agree that we'd say good hire.
Yes.
Okay, now here's a weird world to live in. We don't want Scott Barnes making the hire. Makes the hire. Good hire. What?
I mean, it doesn't mean that an
Scott
incompetent...
Barnes, football. I don't want him making the hire. Good hire. What? What are we doing here with Scott Barnes? We want him fired, but he's made 2 straight hires where people are like...
How involved was that search firm who, if he was saying, hey, I'd like to get back to the West Coast, he's got a headhunter or an agent or whatever.
Well, how much
to put
of
this guy's name in your ear?
How much did that get served on a silver
That's
platter?
the right thing to be asking. How much of this was kind of handed to him? Like, Joyner's wife is at Oregon. This has to matter for him to take that job.
Let me ask you this, though.
Especially if they're as underfunded as Wayne Tinkle suggests they are.
How many times do you see a coach get hired and you genuinely say the initial reaction is that's a bad hire? It's kind of like draft picks, and we see the draft pick and we go, that like we project what he could become.
I don't know that there's a bad hire.
There's
ones that you scratch your head going.
The fit might be weird.
UW Green Bay hiring their men's basketball coach.
Yeah.
Is that Doug Gottlieb?
Yeah.
Doug Gottlieb actually had a good year this year.
No tournament.
Stopped doing the radio show.
Yeah, he finally stopped doing 2 jobs and focused on 1.
People were joking of how funny it would be if Oregon State were going to hire Doug Gottlieb as their basketball coach.
That was never real.
It's never going to happen.
I believe he finished 2nd or 3rd in the Horizon League. But
Doug Gottlieb,
but
fair.
to your point, how often do we say
everybody wins the hire, everybody wins the press conference, and then you coach, and then we'll find out how you can do. Like Jamarcus Shepard is a good hire because you went from having a guy who had the personality of cardboard, and the worst season in the history. Like, no offense to Trent Bray, but it's true. And one of the worst seasons in the history of your program, to hiring a guy who has a personality that jumps out of the room and smiles ear to ear and is great in interviews. Like, that's why it's a good. We have no clue how Jamarcus Shepard is going to be as a head coach. We have no idea how he's going to do. He's doing a better job recruiting. That's what Nimick, keeps saying. And so that's an encouraging sign. Yeah. We have no clue how he's going to be as a head coach, but they won because he went from Bray. We interviewed Trent Bray. Like, how often do we get a head coach of a program on? And then after the interview, we're like, dude, I don't ever want to interview that guy again.
No, I think that was when he was a DC.
It was when he was a DC, but when he became the head coach,
we did 6 minutes with him, and we were both like, hell no, I am done with this.
I have no more questions because he's giving me 6-word answers, and it's over. That could have been in our top 5 of worst interviews we've ever done.
That's a sneaky good.
He was horrible.
Yeah, that's a sneaky good one to be.
Great defensive
nominated.
mind, was bad as a head coach. He also was not fun to listen to or talk to.
Could you imagine going over to movie night at Trent Bray's house? You walk in there, you're like, dude, I brought the junior mints. He's like, I got the popcorn. Sit down, and you're like, okay, you have to sit here at this angle. And you're like,
here.
What?
You have to sit right here.
And then he leans over, he pulls a VHS out, and you go, you got a VHS? And he goes, absolutely, I do. And he puts it in, boom. It's Sam Houston State, Oregon State. We're grinding tape, buddy. That's Trent Bray.
Trent, what went wrong here, man? How the hell did you lose that game?
Can I get out of here, Trent?
I don't want to go home.
No, you cannot. We have to watch this together. We got to learn.
Until the fourth quarter is over.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't think you're wrong on a lot of
I'm
the
just trying to
points
say
you're
of the
making.
Barnes thing of like, we're giving him credit right now, and neither of these guys have coached a game.
Well, but like if he would have hired Damon Stoudemire or Doug Gottlieb, I think people would have debated good, bad hire.
The Gottlieb thing I would have just reacted to because I can't stand Doug Gottlieb.
Damon's a feel-good name,
Damon
but he's
would have
not
been a feel-good
good.
local guy. Yeah.
His resume, he doesn't have a good resume.
It's also different to come from an assistant at one of the best programs in the country and be an actual head coach. The resumes are drastically different, right?
Yeah.
If you put Justin Joyner in charge of Georgia Tech last year, how do they do?
I don't know because his entire thing is recruiting.
Right, you're hiring an unknown.
He's at least coming from St. Mary's,
right.
Who, by the way, in the tenure that he was there, elevated, competed with Gonzaga, won the conference twice outright.
Yes.
And then he's also coming from Michigan, who may win the national championship because Dusty May might be the best coach in college basketball.
How does it work in college hoops? Do they stick around for the tournament run, or is he out now?
I read a 24/7 article on the Michigan website, and I haven't seen something saying he won't. Yeah, he'll remain with the Wolves through the postseason.
Okay, I guess the portal isn't open yet, right? When is the portal in
No,
basketball
they
open?
switched that, so it'll be like either Final Four weekend or right after the Final Four.
So
They
there's
moved
nothing going on right
April,
now.
which is good. So nobody has. You're not gonna have a situation where dudes back out in the tournament.
Herm Edwards. Nobody said that was a good hire.
Good point.
What?
Herm Edwards is a good, and then he pulled off some upsets early on. Remember, he
I
had
think
a
he
moment.
won 7 games his first year.
First
and we're
year,
like, hey, not as bad as you thought.
They
And
beat
then
a
sucked.
top 25 Michigan State team, I want to say, at home, and like an upset.
Didn't
They
they beat
rushed
the
the field. Yeah, he was the coach of
That was the Thomas
Jaden Daniels
Graham
team.
game, right?
Yes, that was Jaden Daniels and Ayuk
Yeah.
beat Oregon and knocked him out of the college football playoff.
You guys lost to Herm Edwards.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mario. Good riddance.
Just got to the national championship.
Hey! Out of the ACC, play a real schedule.
By the way, how happy are you he didn't win that game?
Really happy.
Like Indiana's
Really
going to be
happy.
coming sufferable.
Indiana sucks that they won. That really happy. That was not fun. That was not a fun couple of weeks there. To see my team lose by 80 again.
My only point is this: like I like the resume, but to your point, I don't know what he's like as a head coach, and maybe he's taking this job because his wife is 50 miles down the road, and I don't know if that's always the best reason to take a job, especially if they really go into the new conference 7th out of 8th in terms of NIL funding. Like a recruiting guy, who are you going to recruit? If you don't have a budget, you can't recruit.
Yeah.
Right?
If Fresno State's spending more on their basketball team than you are, it doesn't matter that much in that
Gonzaga's
sport.
coming in. They're already better than you.
Yeah.
So that's their whole existence is that basketball team. But also, if he's good, if Jamarcus Shepard is good, it's a really weird place to sit in with Scott Barnes, is it not?
I would say simultaneously, both things can be true. He's still an idiot and an absolute scumbag.
But those are
but
the
occasionally can get things right.
But
He
those are
also
two
hired
debatably
Trent
biggest
Bray.
hires an AD can
Sure.
make.
He also hired Trent Bray and took the easy way out when they had an absolute mountain of cash and paid him like $8 an hour to be the head coach at Oregon State because he took advantage of his loyalty to the program. And it was a disaster for the last 2 years. So Rob Manfred is a buffoon. But he's gotten a lot of things right with baseball randomly with rule changes. We call him the Michael Scott of commissioners.
He's the Michael Scott of sports.
So this doesn't change that Scott Barnes was doing some incredibly shady things and lying to the media in the Blueprint deal and Brent Blaylock and the name on the front, not the back. Not to mention, you know what else they have not done? They announced yesterday this hiring via all their social media platforms, Oregon State did. Mm-hmm. They still have not posted a single thing to thank Wayne Tinkle for his time at Oregon State.
They haven't?
Not a single one. Wayne, how long was Wayne there? When did he take over?
12 years.
12 or 13
12
seasons.
years. He's been there almost at the same time as Dana Altman.
Yeah.
You think if
To an
Oregon fired
Elite
Dana
Eight.
Altman, they wouldn't say, Dana, thanks for all the memories. Thanks
got
for
to
the
Elite
tournament
Eight.
runs.
They hadn't sniffed the tournament.
They hadn't been
They
in the
hadn't been
tournament
in the
25
tournament in
years.
25 years. He took you there, and then he took you to an Elite Eight. And they have not posted a single thank you for your time.
That is pretty wild. They haven't posted
It's
something.
inexcusable, and it doesn't mean that much, but it just shows
No, it
you
means
how
a lot to me.
incompetent the athletic department is. While maybe getting a decision right and hiring the new head coach.
Yeah, but Barnes isn't going to finish his contract, so.
What does it matter?
Such a depressing thing to say and admit. Yeah, the new deal I just signed, I won't finish that out. What?
I think this can happen, and I'm not going to allow it to overshadow his dumbassery.
I'm not telling you
It's
we
like when
shouldn't
bad
be firing
owners
Scott Barnes.
Yeah, it's like when bad owners in sports randomly luck out with the quarterback, and you're like, oh, all of a sudden you're good now. It doesn't mean you're a good owner. You got lucky.
Who's currently the worst owner that's gotten the luckiest?
The new owners of the Mavericks.
With Cooper Flagg.
They traded Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I can't go there.
I like Cooper Flagg, but you
what was
traded Luka
what was
Doncic.
Pagula thought of before they drafted Josh Allen? The Bills couldn't make the playoffs to save their lives. He was hated in Buffalo.
Well, they made it the year before they drafted him.
I know they did,
But yeah.
they ended their drought.
And then his Sabres run is, I think that's
Sabres
finally
have been
coming to an end,
they're going to be
right?
they're good
They're
this year.
gonna
They'll
be in the
But
playoffs
they were
this
going
year.
on a run of not
Dude,
making
he's been
it.
horrible. Sabres fans hate him. And then he got Josh Allen, and now it's like, look at this. We built a new stadium, and everything's great. Bills Mafia.
Gotta think about this. Who is the worst owner that's currently riding?
Jody Allen just won a Super Bowl.
I got it. Well,
She's technically not an owner.
the Vulcans have been owning that team for a long time. It's the Vulcans, not her. Okay? She's the face.
Sorry, Burt Cole just won a Super Bowl.
Dolan,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dolan's a great poll.
the Knicks.
They were incompetent forever.
They got Jalen Brunson. They didn't even think Jalen Brunson would be a Jalen Brunson
No.
is, and now look at him.
They were just spending money to spend money, and they lucked into a good player who's an All-NBA guard.
Terrible.
Yes.
Terrible owner.
So you can be incompetent and bad and somehow not screw something up occasionally.
Well, Justin Joyner is the new men's basketball coach. We'll see what happens. Michigan is going to run through the tournament. We'll see how far they go, what they accomplish. He may be coming to Corvallis with a national championship ring.
He very well could be. Are you guys going to do one of those posts like we did for Lanning? Remember when we hired Lanning?
With the trophy?
It was with the trophy, but he was photoshopped in Oregon gear with the trophy, and everybody killed us, rightfully so.
It's the closest you've gotten to an Eddie.
Hey, get you one of these guys. Even though we didn't get it, he got it, but now we got him, so, partial ownership, right?
I want to talk about little Dan Lanning, Oregon stuff at the bottom of there. Coming up next, day one of camp is in the books, and I'm just kind of curious as it's off and rolling. We'll stick with this new coach down there of what we think is going to happen this season. We'll get to that coming up next on 105.1 The Fan.
1080 AM.
Wow, where he be now? Tony Finau in his striped shirt, four under.
Looking sexy today. It's a
Yeah.
nice little look right there.
He's got a zaddy look to him. There's no doubt about it.
He does, man. I hope that guy wins one before it's all over.
Johnny Vegas right now on the 17th Island Green.
Just looks pristine. I've made the executive
looks
decision
good.
this morning. I'm traveling out there to play this for my 40th birthday.
Yeah,
It's going to happen.
you gonna do that?
I'm going to do that. Let's drop $30,000.
I love I love making those.
I got a couple years to figure it out, all right? I got 3 years to
You're gonna have
get
another kid on the way at
Hey,
some point.
hey, I got 3 years to figure
Broke
this
as a
thing
joke,
out,
bro.
all right? Ooh, that ball went in the water. Bye-bye.
Players Championship rolls on here. By the way, the fan text line is 503-864-6326. That's where you can reach us.
Yes, it is.
Also on the YouTube chats. Hanging out on here on Thursday. Magic Hat coming up in the final hour of the radio program. Swag says he has 2.
I have audio, too. Do we all have audio?
We all have audio today. It's an audio magic app.
I was going to tell this to you guys. I think we need to mandate audio for the hat.
For everyone or just
Every
some?
hat.
Every
Whether
hat
that's
submission?
All of us, one of us, two of us.
Oh, okay, just having some audio
There
for
has
the hat.
to be an audio segment because we all consume so much media in and out sports that
I think
it's
it's
like.
a fair point.
And I forget half the stuff I watch. And I'm like, oh, that'd be a good Magic Hat thing. And then I forget to.
Put that one in there. Oh, damn it, I forgot.
Yeah. And I had one of those last week that I
Right.
brought this week. So we'll get to that coming up in the final hour of the radio program. So talked a little Justin Joyner being new head coach of Oregon State basketball. They have a new football coach.
Yes, they do.
Jamarcus Shepard had his first spring practice the other day. I watched his post-practice day one scrum. They're going to have a week of practice, then they'll be off, and then they're back again.
Very similar schedule to Oregon. I think they're almost on identical runs here over the next month and a half, and the culminates in the spring game, I believe, the same day.
Well, it's a weird team, and I was reminded that Malik Murphy is back for the Beavs.
He's your starting quarterback again.
I assume.
They didn't really bring anybody else in.
Well, that's the thing. You're looking up something, and you're kind of proving my point of the segment. They have 30 new players.
They have 30 of their 80-ish players are brand new.
That's a little less than I thought it was, but that's still a lot of players. And so, you're going to have a lot of turnover this season, and they're going to be names you're not familiar with. And
yes.
I was thinking about, one, if he wins 3 games, we're obviously going to have a lot of opinion on that. But, I don't even know what's realistic anymore. What's realistic in a first year with 30 new players, a new program that we think is being led or run at the top by somewhat incompetence? You're entering into a new conference.
Yeah.
It's not to give Shepard an out here. Shepard and expectations, if we can get him on during spring, I'd love to ask him how he measures expectations or how he views those kinds of conversations. But for fans, they're always going to do it, right? Every year how many wins? Well, I think 8 wins. I think 7, 9, 10, whatever it is. And I don't know what to put on it for Oregon State year one with Jamarcus Shepard with 30 new players coming in.
The funny thing is it's not just the direction of Oregon State and what to expect from 30 new players. It's how many teams are you playing that are also bringing in 30 new players, and we have no idea how good they're going to be. The Cal game was this way with the freshman quarterback to open the season last year, and you're like, a lot of Oregon State fans thought this was going to be a win because it's a true freshman quarterback on the other side. And then week one, you're like, this kid's kind of good, and all of a sudden you're losing the game. We have no clue what certain teams. I know Houston has become a bit of a darling in terms of offseason media conversation in the Big 12. That's your first game of the year. Texas Tech is going to be a juggernaut again because their roster is loaded. And then I think it comes down to the expectation for me of my base level for year one for him. I don't know how high it's going to be and how low it's going to be. I would just say don't do anything stupid. And just by that, I mean, don't lose to Sam Houston State. There are inexcusable losses. If you lose to Houston and Texas Tech and open 0-2, I'm not going to kill you for it. Those are two teams. Texas Tech's probably going to be in the playoff again, and Houston might win 10 games this year. Now, there's no Oregon on your schedule. Then you get into a stretch of Montana and UTEP. Are you going to lose at home to Montana? That, to me, would be stupid. That's a loss that you're like, dude, that's inexcusable. I don't care how good of a program Montana is for their level, and I don't care how many new players you have. You can't lose that game at home on your own field. There's moments like that throughout the season. Texas State coming up. There's still a big gap, I think, from a talent standpoint of them trying to compete at a higher level from the Sun Belt where they were to now going to the Pac-12. And so Win-losses are really hard to project.
Oh, you don't think Texas State, for example, could transfer year one and be competing?
Not in the conference, no. I wouldn't pick them. I think they can get there eventually, but I wouldn't pick them.
You think the conference is that good?
I don't know if it's that good. I just give credit to programs like Boise and what they've been.
Sure.
I might have to look up and down the rest
Colorado
of the
State, Fresno State,
Yeah,
Oregon State, Washington State.
I would say to cut through and to beat all of those teams and compete. I'm not saying they can't get somebody, but Texas State was not a very good team in the Sun Belt.
Oh, I don't even know if we have a team that's going to run through the whole gauntlet of them.
My money would be on Boise State, probably.
If one team does
initially,
it, you'd probably bet Boise.
They're the most established and the best recruited, I would argue, and have the most established head coach of all of these teams that are joining the conference. So they would be the pick for a lot of people, I think, going into the year. I just think it's about those embarrassing losses that hang over your head. Like if you win 4 games,
but can you be 5-7?
Maybe.
How are we going to feel about 5-7? What's going to be the general consensus from people at 5-7?
How does it look? That is the immediate follow-up question. Are all 7 of your losses blowouts and you only beat Montana, UTEP, Texas State, Utah? Are those your wins and you're eking them out? Are you competitive against Texas Tech in week 2, but it's a loss?
5-7 means you probably beat a team you maybe shouldn't have, and you also lost a dumb game.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went that way. They had a lot of games last year. For as bad as the season went, it very easily could have gone differently. They had the Appalachian State game is a prime example.
They started 0-6, and I think of the 6, they could have won at least 4 of them.
The Fresno State game in week 2 was a one-possession game.
You should have won that game.
They got killed by Texas Tech and Oregon. They lost in overtime and blew the lead to Houston.
Should have won that game.
Lost 27-23 to Appalachian State. They lost 21-17 to Sam Houston State. And so there's 4 right there that easily could have gone the other way. You were 2-10. You know what that means? You would have gone 6-6.
6-6.
You would have been a bowl team. And so how does it look, and how do you lose
Trent Bray's still the coach.
And Trent Bray is still the coach, if that happens. Yes. I mean, you got Lafayette and Washington State late in the year, and then they killed you. Washington State did in the last week of the season. I'm excited to see what he could do. I just think having new energy is a lot of fun. It makes it really hard to predict with all the new players, but it's also the reality that everybody else is kind of going through this at your level, that not many maybe outside of Boise, I would be willing to guess that at Colorado State, San Diego State, Washington State, Fresno State, Texas State, Utah State, that there's at least 25 to 30 new players on all of those teams.
Well, Colorado State's bringing in Jim Moore Jr.
Yes, they got rid of their coach.
He had a nice little short run at UConn.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that's going to mean at Colorado State. Boise's the exception here. Washington State, I mean, I'm not going to talk trash about Wazoo because it sucks what Jimmy Rogers ended up doing.
I mean, they lost Dickert and then brought in Rogers, and they were competitive last year, immediately in year 1.
Yeah, and he's gone. Are you just going to keep getting a coach that's competitive, or are you going to slide at some point and have Paul Wolf 2.0?
Yeah, at some point do you whiff.
Yeah, that's what I would worry about. Everybody else is like Texas State, I assume will be okay. I don't know. I kind of disagree with you on Texas State. I think you told me Texas State's competing in week 9 for that conference. I wouldn't be shocked by that.
I think it'd be good to have the team from Texas be good. They were 6-6 in the Sun Belt last year, so not quite as bad as I gave them credit for. But you're beating Southern Miss, Louisiana Monroe, South Alabama, Eastern Michigan, Nicholls State, and UTSA.
But if Oregon State's losing to Sam Houston State, is all my point is, I don't know if that's that big of a jump for them to get to this conference. You may not be Boise State. That's a different animal. But everybody else, it's just such a toss-up. But 30 new players for Jamarcus Shepard. And the underrated thing that I momentarily forgot is they've got Mike McIntyre as the DC. He's got a former head coach in the Pac-12.
The guy took Colorado to the Pac-12 title before it was cool to take Colorado to the Pac-12 title.
Yeah.
He did it before Dion ever did.
He didn't ask anybody if they believed now when he got to the Pac-12 title game.
He did not. He just did it. We're like, Colorado's here? And then they disappeared 2 years later.
And he's their DC now. So maybe that will help as well with just kind of what it takes to be a head coach. They got a good relationship.
He's also had experience on the West Coast in the Pac-12. I know the conference looks different, but Colorado State's in it now. So having that pipeline is going to help you tremendously. I just think you're looking for small positives. And how does it look? Or can you be competitive in your hardest games? The Texas Tech game, remember back to that. I mean, it was literally over. There was a lightning delay, if I remember. You gave up like a 3rd and 21, a 3rd and 28.
All their scores were 3rd and long.
15 missed tackles and a guy runs 60 yards. Let's not let that happen, and you're taking a step in the right direction. I'm not asking you to win 9 games in year 1 or call you a failure.
So you're basically saying there is no win-loss expectation on it. It's just don't be overly awful and compete really well against whoever ends up being the best team.
In your competitive games, Houston and Texas Tech right out of the gate. You have the benefit of a new team that people don't really know what to expect. So what do you go look up on film for Jamarcus Shepard. You can track his OC and his DC and what they've done historically, but it's going to be a largely new kind of mixture of players and scheme. Just be competitive, man. Be competitive and don't be a laughingstock. Now, if you go 1-11 and you lose 11 close games, maybe we're singing a different tune at the end, but if you're competitive, you'll nick off some of these wins. You'll win 4, 5, 6 games, and you'll feel fine after year one.
Another top 5 list for this guy. We'll get to that coming up next, but first, Swag with the sports update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, NFL free agency continues to roll on. Ducks Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota has re-signed with the Commanders on a 1-year deal. Former Oregon State offensive lineman Isaac Seumalo has signed a 3-year deal to join the Arizona Cardinals. And the 49ers sent a third-round pick to the Cowboys for former David Douglas Scott Owa Odigizua. Quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic are all set. The United States thanking Italy, who routed Mexico 9-1 Wednesday to get both teams into the quarterfinals. Vinny Pasquantino, 3 home runs to lead that Italy attack. U.S. going to face Canada on Friday. Italy will face Puerto Rico on Saturday. Round 1 of the Players' Championship, Tony Finau, Max Gracerman quickly atop the leaderboard, both 5 under on the front 9. Johnny Vegas, Justin Thomas among those tied at 3 under, 2 back. Scotty Scheffler is 1 under through 6. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Recruiting with FM and 1080 AM.
All right, welcome back in. Excited for the Daily Ticker today here on 105.1 The Fan. The guest, pretty excited. Haven't had him on in a while.
I was thinking of dudes.
Andrew Johnson's
Hello!
joining us live.
Good morning, everybody.
Selwood's very own.
Yes.
Duck diehard, duck honk, some would accuse him of.
Did everybody survive, get into work today? Did you take your canoes to get in today?
It was a bit windy and wet.
Jesus,
There's no doubt about
man.
it.
Turn the water off. Who left the faucet on?
Yeah, we kind of deserve it because of how good the weather's been largely for us this winter so far. But
it
I
helps
mean,
this
it's
summer,
snowing
I'll be
like
for it.
crazy up on the mountain.
I would think
Not
so,
always.
but I don't know.
I'll check my government.
Check your
Your
government
government
camp
camp.
numbers, see what they say.
This says rain in 34.
It's too warm up there.
and
That's
it's going to get to
brutal.
40 today.
Oh, that ain't good.
And by the way, that's basically their weather for the next 2 weeks.
That
Just
sucks.
40 and rain.
So it's just snowing way up on the summit.
Not good, Bob.
Not good.
Not good. It's good to have you back on the radio program.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Want to start with the duck honkness of your fandom. Dan Lanning's made another top 5 list.
Oh, what are we top 5 in this time?
Stuart Mandel's all too early.
joke artist.
Top 25 college football coaches. Dan Lanning comes in at number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Let me guess. Ahead of him is Kurt Cignetti.
Kurt Cignetti would be what number?
1 right now, 2. I'll go 2.
You think he's number 2?
I think it's number 2. If we're going right now, I mean, there's a guy who's won 2 national championships. He's got 1.
Been a while since he won those 2.
Like 3 years.
Yeah,
I mean, it ain't Dabo Sweeney we're talking about here. I'm not ranking Dabo number 1.
It is Cignetti.
Okay, Cignetti's number 1.
Kurt Cignetti is number 1.
Numero uno. Kirby Smart, numero dos.
You'd be correct.
Number 3, Ryan Day.
Yeah, Ryan Day.
Yeah. Number 4.
Yeah, I just told you number 4.
Did you? Was I not listening? Dan Lanning.
Hey, look at you. You paid attention.
Number 5,
You can't guess number 5.
Marcus Freeman.
Nope.
If I can't guess number 5, that's going to make me aggressively want to guess it. So if you're going to tell me I can't, so that means it's not like an obvious name.
Yes.
It's not Mario?
Nope.
Mario just got
is
to
all the way
he's
down
got to a national
at
title?
number 10.
Does that not matter?
He is, let's see.
Did he throw like a Kyle Whittingham in there?
No, Kyle Whittingham is number 9.
Okay, he's top 10. Who am I forgetting? Who's a random run-of-the-mill, like, good coach? Who's Lane Train? Can't be the Lane Train. That's too
Nope.
obvious. Mike Elko?
Mike Elko barely made his top 25.
What are we doing here?
Very debatable.
Joey McGuire. of
Joey
Texas Tech.
McGuire's a good one. Joey McGuire did not make his top 25.
What are we talking? Big conference, little conference? Give me like some sort of a hint.
Big conference.
A big conference.
By the way,
coach.
Joey McGuire didn't make it. You know who's on this list?
Who's on this list?
Bielema, Rhett Lashley,
Okay.
Jeff Monken,
Yeah.
Jeff Brom,
Jeff Brom's a good coach.
John Sumrall, Lance Leipold, Dabo,
Swineye.
and Josh Heupel. Oh, and Willie Fritz is on this list. I couldn't believe Joey McGuire didn't make the list.
Yeah, what's up with that? Why do some guys get they bought their team label and then we give no credit for a head coach?
Right.
But a lot of teams buy players.
Dillingham.
Dillingham did
Ooh.
not make the list. Shocking to me.
I'm trying to think a little
What?
off the radar here.
Yeah,
as
I
you
like
say.
where
Yeah, I'm
you're
trying to go.
going. I
You're
like
on a
where you're
good
going.
pathway. Is it Matt Campbell at Penn State?
Matt Campbell is not it. Matt
No.
Campbell is number 11 according to
I mean, it has to
Stuart
be Jed
Mandel.
Fish, right? Option to the short side of the field has to be him.
No.
No. I take it back. Lincoln Riley's got to be it. With all his
Lincoln
success,
Riley's not in the top 25.
With all his success
Who's
at
the guy
USC.
UCLA hired from James Madison?
Bob Chesney?
Bob Chesney.
No, he did not make it, but he was on the outside looking in.
Clark Lee.
Clark Lee, no.
God, that was a good guess.
Clark Lee's number 15.
Number 15. He's won at Vanderbilt. He's 15.
How is Joey McGuire not in
He's
this list?
winning at Vanderbilt.
I don't know.
All right, I relent. I give up.
You give up?
I give up. That's all I got.
Kalen DeBoer.
Oh, that's you bastard. Off the radar. You'll never guess it. I'm going down this rabbit hole of middle of the road programs.
Well, hold on. To defend myself
DeBoer's
here,
still number 5.
I was going to – so you kind of proving my point with that.
Yeah.
It's not that DeBoer's not on the list.
Some of the shine's come off in the last 2 years.
Yeah, dude. I would say what he did year one at Bama and last year losing in the fashion that they did after beating garbage-ass Oklahoma.
Sure.
Like, I was a little admittedly surprised to see him top 5 and see guys like Dillingham and Joey McGuire not even be on the list.
I would say this, and I made the argument at the time, and I was called an idiot and a honk and a homer and a hater all simultaneously. This is who he's always been.
Don't high step.
He is incredibly.
If Alabama wins the title, this is going to age poorly.
No, it doesn't change the fact that he's great in big games. Like, people believe in him in big games, in big moments. He's beaten Georgia twice in the regular season. He went in Athens and won. Like, he's won massive games in his time at Alabama. He did at Washington too. They were incredibly lucky to be undefeated that year. And that's a fair thing to say. Even the diehard of diehard Husky fan has to acknowledge.
They're not going to agree with you.
Arizona State throwing a 100-yard pick six in the fourth quarter. Like, yeah, dude. Converting a fourth down in your own territory in the Apple Cup. Needing to score 57 points to beat Caleb's 50 in USC. Utah on a blocked field goal. Like, they had moment after moment after moment. Stanford and the kid dropping a pass on fourth down. That was their entire season that year. He's always been the same coach. He just had one of those years where all the run games went his way. And then the luck has evened out the last 2 years because the competition has been stiffer. He doesn't get his team ready to play week in and week out.
So his co-host on his podcast, Mandel's, is Bruce Feldman, who we like on this program. Once in a blue moon, we can get Bruce Feldman.
He hates Dan Lanning in Oregon.
You think that?
That's a thing amongst Oregon fans.
Well, he's not. He doesn't have Lanning in his top 5.
Of course he doesn't. He also picked them to not make the playoff last year. He picked them to lose their last 3 games of the regular season.
He has DeBoer at 4.
Yeah.
And he's got Mario at 5.
He's a
Lanning
huge Mario
6.
guy. Feldman's always been close to Mario. That's part of the reason.
Well, I mean, it's a relationship business, right?
Of course it is. That's the way it works.
But he's got Lanning 6 and Mario 5.
Lanning has been far more consistent and has not lost a game that you could not outside of maybe the Civil War.
He is 26-3 and 17-1 in the Big Ten.
Yeah, the only team who's beaten him the last 2 years, the team's won a national title. They just had to play Indiana twice, and they had to play the national champion twice in each year. Well, they just beat Ohio State one time and then lost to him the second time.
The last 3 years, the only losses they've had are to either
national
the
championship teams.
Yeah. Washington, Ohio State, and Indiana.
So we can debate the big game stuff and all that. That's fine. He's been incredibly consistent, and he does not lose games that he's supposed to win.
Well, this kind of struck me too. Not that the coach ranking stuff, whatever. Landing 5 for 10. I don't really care. Like, I think Dan Lanning's a coach that if my program could hire him and we had resources, I'd take him in a second. Yeah. And as Stuart Mandel writes, you may not like Dan Lanning being this high on my list. That's fine. But Dan Lanning's record is this, and that. And all of the history basically suggests a guy like Lanning with his pedigree, his resumes, and age will eventually break through.
Yeah.
Which I think every Duck fan is just in like, God, I hope it's next year. God, I hope it's next year.
It'd be really nice if it was next year.
But if it happens in 4 years or 5, like whenever it happens, if it happens, you're not going to care how long it took. You'll just feel good that it happened.
No.
But there is something that he was asked in a mailbag that I want to talk about. I know it's a random off-the-beaten-path college football segment.
You can throw college football at me any time of the year, buddy.
But it kind of got my gears working a little bit of like thinking about the question and then kind of the answer to it. So I'll tell you what that is coming up next on 105.1 The Fan.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up.
Woo! Do not go in there.
A sports lowlight, ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountainshomeservices.com.
And now Joshua, 3, way out left. He got it. Joshua Jefferson now with 13. And the Cyclones lead is 60-27.
Iowa State, Josh Jefferson going up 3 there. They didn't just win by 3. They won by almost 50. They beat Arizona State in Bobby Hurley's last Big 12 Arizona State game, 91-42.
Yeah, I thought the Oregon halftime score was pretty bad 2 days ago, and then Arizona State said, we'll hold your beer. We're down 45-16 at halftime and lost the game by 50 points.
Jeez, man.
Bye-bye, Bobby Hurley.
Who's stinking up? Bobby Hurley and ASU, brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Our friends at Three Mountains Home Services have a sweet special this March. You can purchase a new high-efficiency HVAC system and score a 16-year parts and labor warranty. 16 seasons? Are you kidding me? 16 seasons of comfort starts now. Visit threemountainshomeservices.com today. I think Brandman made a good point during the commercial break of if I got a problem. If I'm a Husky fan, you actually just made me feel good because you tried to crap on an undefeated season in which they got to the national championship game.
Yeah, crap isn't even the right word. I'm crap on them now.
You
because their
literally
coach
just
left.
said during the break they should have been 6-6.
They
went
easily could have
undefeated.
been 6-6 that year.
Okay. But from 6-6 to undefeated in the Natty.
They had 6 games against bad teams that they could have lost.
That's okay. But you would be making me feel good because, man, you remembering every game and moment of my season, a team you claim to hate so much, there's something about that I think the rivals should feel good about, like how much they kind of live in your head in that season.
And then they remember their head coach left, and now they have Jed Fish. And their quarterback tried to leave in the transfer portal in the offseason, and he's being held hostage against his will in Seattle to play football for him next year.
I hate you again, is what Husky fan is saying.
I mean, you had that moment in time. It was cool. And then remember when Saban retired and they all said, ha, Dan Lanning's going to take that job, and then their head coach took that job?
Husky fan just texted, remember when you guys get to the playoff and you get drubbed every year?
It's fun to go to the playoff every year. When's the next time the Huskies are going to go to a playoff?
No, you just wait.
Oh, yeah.
Chip on the shoulder,
Shaking
dude.
in my boots this year. This is the year they're going to do it with their 5'2" quarterback.
Chip on the old shoulder. Stuart Mandel does a mailbag, and I read this probably 75% of the time. Maybe not catch as many off seasons as I do during the regular season. This is a good question from a guy named Luke. How does Alabama fall down to mortal, but Ohio State never dips? As a Penn State fan, I'm impressed and devastated. They're always a top 5 team. They're always in contention. Every program has seemingly suffered a dip or suffered such a dip they haven't been able to get out of it. And I thought about that last night. I'm like, well, and then I went, wait, Alabama didn't make the playoff 2 years ago in an expanded field.
No.
Oregon went through this with Willie Taggart, the end of Helfrich.
I mean, we're not in that same category. Yeah, that's I'll as homer as I am. I'm like, we're not in that category.
But I was thinking of all the top 10-ish level programs. Like,
I would
he's
say,
kind of right. They never take that step back, really.
They have. I mean, it's very small chunks. Like before they hired Tressel, it got bad under Cooper. I think John Cooper was their head coach.
And then Fickle had the one year.
But they were also under sanctions
that
year because of the tattoos, which is just hilarious to think back on. The only other thing I'll add to that, though, is that for the labels, like Oregon gets this a lot, right? Like you can make the joke about getting blown out in the playoffs, and it's valid. They were down by 35 points at halftime to Indiana and Ohio State back-to-back years.
By the way, I made that text up.
It's embarrassing. I know you did. It's all right. It's embarrassing, but what did we say? This was, in all seriousness, after Tressel won the national championship, and they shockingly beat Miami, this was Ohio State's program for a decade. Go look at almost every big game that they played in. They made multiple national championship games and lost. They were in the national championship back-to-back years, and they got smoked, I believe, in both games. One of them was the LSU year where everybody lost in 2007. They lost to a 3-loss LSU team in the national title. The 2006 game was to Florida. They lost to Florida in the national title 41-14. So they didn't have the dips in terms of, like, falling off.
That's what he's talking about, though, not winning the
And
natty,
I would say for Alabama, like,
dipping.
Is this a dip for Alabama? They were in the playoff.
I think this fan base right now going into the season, because by everybody's predictions so far early, there aren't a lot of people very high on this Alabama team. And so I think a lot of people are going in thinking this is a dip, and you hired the wrong guy. This is the point by Mandel. The dip is not, did you win natties every year? Dude, Urban only won, what, 2?
Urban got 2. 3. I think
he won 1 he won 2 in Florida and 1 Ohio State.
1 in Ohio State, so you got 3 total.
So you got 1 in Ohio State, and then Ryan Day has 1, right?
Yes.
So for all the success Ohio State's had, they've only had 2 with Day and Urban Meyer's tenures combined.
It's 1 with Tressel, too. So Tressel, the 3 great coaches, and they got 3 titles.
But he writes, it's truly astounding. Ohio State has won at least 10 games in 21 of their past 23 seasons, including 11-plus for each of the past 13 seasons.
Yeah. There's a machine vibe to it.
They're the number 1 program in football, right? And I hate that team, but you have to say that, don't you?
Historically speaking, yes.
Relevant. I mean, right now, why are they not?
Are they a better program than Georgia right now? What are Georgia's down years?
I think Ohio State's better than Georgia. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's also tough because when you, again, look historically, yes. But, look at Kirby Smart's. What is Kirby Smart's low watermark at Georgia? Now, he took over a different program than
His
Ryan
low
Day took
watermark is
over.
what he's been doing the last couple of years.
So
and that's
going
losing.
11-1 and not winning a national championship.
Did they win the SEC?
They've won the SEC the last 2 years.
2 years in a row, yeah.
Yeah, and they lost their first playoff
I think it's
game.
Ohio State.
And I don't blame you for that at all. I mean, it's not a bad take.
No, I mean, you can debate all you want between those two programs, but
I just would say because in the modern era, Georgia has
Mm-hmm.
back-to-back titles and Ohio State has one. So that's the only difference for me. And they both feel like machines. That pieces will come and go, players will leave and come, and they will still win 11 games and go to the playoff every year. Like those are two teams that every year you go into the year and you make your playoff predictions, you write them down in Sharpie. Where would the shock level be if Ohio State's not in the college football playoff next year? In a 12-team era.
Oh, my God. The
right?
shock level?
It's Georgia,
it'd be
too.
Stunning.
Like, it's not going to happen.
They just made Matt Patricia the highest-paid assistant in college football.
He's making almost $4 million next year. It's like $3.75 million, I think, or something.
Is he really doing anything?
He's got a lot of talent. It's just
That's
it's
what
one
I'm
of
saying.
those
He's got
conundrums.
5 stars all over the field.
Is Ryan Day a good coach? He's got a national championship.
At some point, we just have to say yes.
Right. So I have to do that for Patricia. If we're going to do it for Ryan Day, I got to do it for Patricia.
But also, like, we talk about this with Oregon once in a while. With Day and Ohio State, it's also a huge part is the institution.
Yes.
How they support it, the supporters.
I mean, that's what he's been known for, a guy who was born on third base. He took over for
I understand that. But
Urban Meyer and won 13 games in his first year.
to me, that's why they're the best.
Yeah.
From top down, it's just like everything's dialed. It's perfect. Even their down year, they don't make the playoff in a non-expanded season a couple years ago. But they did. They snuck in. They kind of got in, and then they end up winning the whole enchilada. So
in a 12-team era, there are a handful of teams that I think you look at and say, every year. Every year they're going to be
that
there.
about Alabama, and they were out of it 2
See,
years
and
ago.
I didn't say that
We
because
said
you know
that about
how
LSU with Brian Kelly. Never made it. Like,
yeah, and
I don't
those
think that's
to me are a
true.
little bit. I think those are a little bit different than knowing the commodity of the school and the commodity of the coach. Like Ryan Day's not going anywhere. They will recruit at a top 5 level every year. Unless injuries pile up, they will be 10-2 or better every single season.
Ohio State?
Every year.
Yeah, but I don't
And
think
as
that's
long
true
as-
for all the programs.
That's why it's impressive what Ohio State and Georgia are doing. I would have never said that about DeBoer going to Bama because I remembered the year at Washington. He should have lost 5 or 6 games, or could have, not should have, could have lost 5 or 6 games that year, and that's who he's been in Alabama. He plays down to competition, and Kelly had a little bit of that vibe too. And so I think Ohio State and Georgia are in kind of a league of their own right now in the sport.
I'll put a poll question up on that. Who do people think is the best team in college football, Ohio State or Georgia? Signetti out here like, cool, now I got more motivation.
Just won a national title. I'm going to go do it again next year.
And Google me, bitch. Loaded third hour of the radio program. We'll also get to the Magic Hat in the fourth hour. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, the Fan Sports Network.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan NFL team, still combing the free agent and trade market a couple of days into the new league year. The 49ers sending a third-round pick to the Cowboys for former David Douglas Scott Owa Odigizua. Ducks Heisman Trophy winner Marcus Mariota re-signing with the Commanders, 1 year, $7 million. And former Oregon State offensive lineman Isaac Seumalo going to the Arizona Cardinals on a 3-year deal. Quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic ready to go. The United States thanking Italy, who routed Mexico 9-1 Wednesday, assuring their spot in the quarterfinals. They will take on Canada on Friday. Italy will face Puerto Rico on Saturday. Round 1 of the Players' Championship from TPC Sawgrass Stadium course just outside Jacksonville. Max Grazerman, Tony Finau at the top of the leaderboard, 4 under, making the turn, 1 shot clear of Maverick McNeely, Justin Thomas. Scotty Scheffler, he's playing 17 right now. He is 1 under through 7. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 3. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube.
2 inches is a lot, buddy.
Called the Fan Sports Network. Happy Thursday, everybody. Magic Hat, an hour from now. Really happy with my submissions this week. We all have an audio element to the Magic Hat. It should be a lot of fun. We have a lot to get to in this hour of radio. Wanted to start by reading a text at the Fan text line, 503-864-6326. Gosh, this is good, man. I love kicking this stuff up in the middle of March. I miss it. I desperately do. Our
football?
Our basketball programs suck. I have no rooting interest left. It's over.
NBA's in the play-in.
With Blazers are not fun to watch at all right now. Yeah. I don't care about college baseball. I'm just looking for something, man. And they got this. It's hilarious you guys have the audacity to take a dump on my Huskies when every Oregon game I've gone to. All I've seen is a bunch of white guys with their mighty old balding spot on the top of their head. Oregon's about to have their worst year they've ever had, and watch my Huskies win it all this year. Big old ball spot and a big old national title.
First of all,
well done.
Exceptional
well done.
text. Okay?
Also tying in me balding and Oregon fan balding. Phenomenal. That's a 10 out of 10 right there.
This is my problem with you and all your dumb takes is I get tied into it. You guys and your Husky haters.
You're
here.
a Husky honk over there. You're like Patrick Harris is a closet duck, and I've at one of these days I'm going to pull him out of the closet.
Yeah.
And he's going to come out with some green and yellow tie-dye on.
Sure.
You're a closet Husky. I've always known it about
I told
you.
I'm pretty honest about it. I got a little
Husky.
bit of soft spot for the Huskies. My cousin went there. I was a kid. They
you got
were
a
winning.
softy spot for the Huskies,
I
huh?
do. I have a
You do.
softy spot for the Huskies. I like to see the Huskies do well. Sue me. I root for the Huskies against the Cougars.
You root for them against the Cougs?
Yeah, dude.
That's your Pac-2 brethren.
Bow down, you bitch.
How do you do that?
Bow down.
Well, now we're all pissing on Patrick Harris.
I was listening to the boys this
You can't beat the gold W. I mean, what are you doing?
I mean, you can. You can. You stupid dog. Although Huskies are great dogs. That's actually
That's what I'm saying. How can you hate a dog?
You know what's a really funny thing about that rivalry?
Ducks commit rape.
They do. Dude, we got a lot of ducks at the park by our house.
They're awful to each other.
They are ruthless.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's bad.
You don't feed bread to them, do you?
No, we do not.
People don't know that, but bread kills dogs.
You do not feed them. Do not throw them chunks of bread.
blows up their stomach.
It's not good.
Not good.
I mean, the kid loves walking down and seeing the ducks.
No doubt.
But it's like when you see one chasing after another, you're like, uh-oh. Run, honey, run!
Yeah.
Go the other way!
Yep.
I hate that the rivalry exists, though, for one reason, and that is I've always wanted to own a Husky, but I never will. Huskies are great dogs.
If you have enough space for a husky,
They need to run.
They're
You
great
gotta
dogs.
you gotta have space.
Gotta have
no doubt
space.
about
I've
it.
seen huskies in small spaces, and God, that fur paired with the craziness of the dog, it just it
Yeah.
can
They're
be
a
bad.
little temperamental too.
I had a
They
buddy-
need to be trained.
Yeah, they got to be trained.
There's a lot of energy there. They're so. I mean, they're beautiful dogs.
They're gorgeous.
Like that's the
Yeah.
nicest thing I'll ever say about Washington.
Their bark, by the way, it's just a howl every time.
Ooh, it's great. It's phenomenal,
They
dude.
like talk. They're
I'm all
almost
about
talking when they make a sound.
Give me the howl. I love the howl.
My cousin has one, and it's effing nuts. And it just does that the entire time we're around it.
Especially the ones that have like the ice blue
God,
eyes.
are you okay?
Yes, that's what I'm. Yeah. I mean, they're gorgeous dogs.
Look at you. You're a UW fan now. Shame on you.
I have a buddy who is
I
now.
have family that played there, so you know.
Yeah, well, you're a closet husky too.
You're
We
a
all know
Seattle
it.
honk.
You're
We know you.
You're Seattle swag.
Yeah,
That's
you
your
are.
nickname. You
Look
got
at
it.
your
It's your
jersey.
tramp stamp tattoo. Is Seattle swag. It's right above your butt crack. I have a buddy who's now ironically on the staff at Penn State,
Mm-hmm.
but he grew up. We grew up with him, and he's been a diehard Duck fan his whole life. He was on the staff at Oregon for a while. It's still weird that he's on the staff at Penn State, but he was such a Duck fan, but bought a husky, and he named his husky Autzen as a way to like cut through owning a
That's
husky.
a
That
good
was
way
the
to
way
do
that
it.
he had to like. I gotta find a way
Now,
around this.
You have to ask him this because we've seen coaches or players that grow up and become professionals in some way
Mm-hmm.
or tied to it, and they were fans of it. Like his Duck fandom's dead now, right?
Has
Because
to
he's
be.
been in it for so long. He's
It's
been working
dead
in it
now,
for so
and
long.
you're also in. He was with Matt Campbell at Iowa State, and then he followed him to Penn State, and so he's on the staff there. Like you can't be in the same conference as a team and still secretly
Well,
root for
like
them
where
to
was
win.
his first job? Do you remember?
His first job, I don't remember if it was Oregon or at a smaller college.
So-
it might have been an internship at Oregon, was kind of a, whatever they call them.
The launch point?
The launch point, and then it went from there. And then he was there and followed Avalos to Boise. And then from Boise, got a job with Matt Campbell at Iowa State. And then Campbell goes to Penn State, and now he's
The
there.
minute you get to Boise, I mean, people think that it wouldn't happen to them. I think it dies.
Yeah.
You
I think
know,
it has to.
You're in the business now. Like you see them and you think of maybe memories, but you're not like, I
Right.
hope they win this weekend. You don't care at all.
Yeah, shout out to Brandon Piatek. He's the guy we stayed with when we went down. It's before he got into coaching. When we went down, drove to the Final Four for 20 hours to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
He's the friend that we stayed with because he lived down there at the time. I want to stick in college football here for a moment. I got a couple other NFL tidbits for this hour of radio as well. But you were on the run of college football, and so I wanted to bring this up. We can even carry it over if it goes a little long. How much credit maybe isn't the right word. When you look towards projecting what's going to happen in next season, where does returning starters rank in your mindset of a swing point for a good or bad season? How important of a metric is it for you?
It depends on the coach.
Okay.
That's my first, collect my thoughts. But if I like your coach, it's a massive point for me. Now,
Okay.
Cignetti has twisted this a little bit, but he also had a lot of returning talent with that group.
A ton of returning talent.
So even if he had a new quarterback, I still really liked it.
I would care to guess that Indiana was near the top of this list last year. And then they added Mendoza,
Yes.
which was the thing that made the whole thing
Lineman,
explode.
Mendoza, they added
Right.
a couple
But
pieces
the
here and
majority
there,
of their
but
team,
yeah.
I feel like, was back year over year.
So it depends on the coach, but to answer your question, if I know you have a ton of returning talent, I have always been a believer in that from the pre-NIL. Coaches get 4 or 5 years to build it up to what we're in now. Returning talent's a huge thing for me.
Well, how do you feel about this coach? Because there is a team who has more returning starters than anybody in college football. Number one on this list.
Is it Notre Dame?
It is not.
No.
Notre Dame is near the top of the list. Notre
Head
Dame has
south.
14. Think of a rivalry that no longer exists. USC has more returning starters than anybody in college football.
I may have missed how you teed that up.
Yeah.
Because Swag was like, think South.
And then I said the rivalry that no longer exists. I actually didn't really tee it up. I just said I didn't really set it up. You just said Notre Dame and he said South.
Yeah.
But USC has 15 of their 22 returning starters returning from last year. 15 of their 22. Now, I got word of
Oh, I was going to give you some red meat.
a little birdie told me, my sources indicated to me, I've been talking to direct sources on this,
There's tape.
that indicated to me that one Daniel Meringue said USC only needs to win 8 games next year.
Offhanded last week, caught a random 11 a.m.-ish segment.
Okay.
And they somehow said something, and
Said 8-4 is fine.
he said they have to win 8 games next year, and then he responded with, but have you seen the schedule? As if, the expectation should be 8 wins. Just throwing
So
that
in
out.
year 6, you're okay. 8-4 is okay for you. in year 6. I'm just checking. That's a standard that's the USC standard that you want to. Okay, I'm just asking.
Fight on.
8-4.
Returning quarterback, by the way.
They were returning more starters than 15 of 22 starters.
Yeah.
Now, it's not that big of a gap between some of the other ones, so we can go through the entire
Don't
list.
the Ducks have like 13 or 14?
So your top teams on it, Georgia is near the top of this list with 14 returning starters.
See, that's a big one for me.
Maryland, randomly. Now, remember, their quarterback was a freshman, Malik Washington.
Yeah, he was good.
He had moments, but, nobody's going to
fire Loxley, right?
No, he's back. I think so.
They need help on the defensive
Can we
side.
confirm?
They need a new coach.
They couldn't
look
stop
up his record. He's been there.
It's not very good.
I can't believe he's been there as long as he has. He's never been good.
Is it the Tinkle thing of are you getting resources to win? I don't know. I'm just asking aloud. Notre Dame is at 14, so they're in the mix of this. Oklahoma at 14 returning starters. Another team with 14 is my Oregon Ducks. 14 of the 22 starters are returning.
That's huge.
Some of the other ones that, if you're curious, Boise State's at 13 near the top of this list.
Well, that makes me feel
BYU,
good.
right? BYU 13. Fresno State 13. There's another one on your schedule. Texas Tech 13. Another one on your schedule. Houston 12. Another one on your schedule. And then you go
might
down.
owe him an apology, by the way.
Texas is at 12. Loxley's been better than you give him credit for.
7-6, 8-5, 8-5. He had those 3 years in a row, and he's been 4-8 the last 2 years.
So he's above 500 the first 3 years. He's got a young quarterback he's trying to build around.
3-9.
Didn't he have Tua's younger brother there in those
did?
winning seasons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. He did have Tua's little brother there.
He was
tried to
breaking
come
all
back.
sorts of records, man.
And he's 3-0 in bowl games.
So if you believe in Lincoln Riley, and he only needs to get to 8 wins to make USC fans happy.
Does he get a bonus?
There's no way 8 wins is what makes them happy. How can you have that many returning starters and be happy with 8-4? How? We also need to confirm this with him because I heard him say this.
Yeah, we need to double.
But Patrick didn't follow up and go, what? 8-4?
So they just added, and somebody can look this. They just added a non-conference game in week 0. They're playing. I want to say San Jose State. They just had to add a game because Notre Dame's not on their schedule this year.
Oh, so they went from Notre Dame to San Jose State.
Very challenging. Their other non-conference games are Fresno State and Louisiana Lafayette at home.
That's a tough schedule.
So let's run through this Big Ten. I'm not saying it's a cakewalk.
I think you're 2-1 if you're lucky.
Let's take a stroll through this conference schedule. Ready for this?
Monroe doesn't joke around, dude.
At Rutgers. Home against Oregon.
Well, at Rutgers, though, we're going to be reminded that it's tough to be in California and have to go to
That's
Jersey.
a long flight, don't you know?
Yeah.
Home against Washington.
Yeah.
You're in year 6. Jed's in year 3. You should win that game. At Penn State, year 1 of a new coach.
Yeah.
At Wisconsin, Luke Fickell's been a disaster.
Yeah.
You get Ohio State at home. They're going to beat you, but you get them at home at least. At Indiana, home against Maryland, at UCLA. That
schedule's not that hard.
You get Oregon, Washington, Ohio State all at home.
I need to text him. He said the schedule was hard, so that's why he was cool with 8 wins. And I'm like,
we have no clue how Penn State's going to be. We have no clue how Wisconsin's going to be. Washington could blow up with the whole quarterback situation. UCLA a first-year head coach. Are you scared of Rutgers, Maryland, or what are we doing here?
I'm also not going to pretend that they don't randomly have great performances in big games in L.A. Ohio State comes to town. You're not the most amazing team, but you pull an upset off?
Yeah, for a weekend, you're the best team in the
country.
country.
You're not going to Columbus.
No, it's in L.A. You got them in your building.
How many Buckeye fans will be at the
so many.
70% of that stadium
It's
will be
Halloween,
Buckeye
by the way, too. Yeah. So it's in Columbus at the end of October. What's the weather like there? Let's go to Los Angeles.
It'd be really funny if they dressed up as USC fans and then at kickoff took off their costumes. And then they're just Buckeye fans.
I would love for a team to pull off a gag like that.
That would be so good.
Even if it was against my school, I couldn't help but just applaud. That would be that is such a funny troll job.
Dude, that would be great.
That's like when Penn State was there 2 years ago. Remember, they damn near beat Penn State 2 years ago. Penn State was in the Big Ten title game in Franklin's last good year. They had the Penn State fans buy the run out onto the field with the team.
Yeah.
You could buy it, and they didn't check your fandom, and they were wearing Nittany Lion colors running onto the field.
They're wearing those blue and white rugby shirts or whatever.
Phenomenal. So if you're into returning starter production, USC has more of it than anybody in college football next year.
But of the teams you just named there, give me the order of the top. What did you lay? 5 teams there?
Yeah, I mean, it goes a little bit deeper than that.
Just give me the 5. So you have Oregon, USC,
So the total number of starters, USC 15, and then there's a bunch with 14. So Georgia's at 14, Maryland randomly, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Oregon, Virginia Tech.
Okay,
those are your teams with 14.
Take Maryland out, Oklahoma, Oregon, Georgia, USC, and Notre Dame. Of those 5, who do you trust the most with the returning talent?
Georgia.
Yep.
1. Mm-hmm. Splitting hairs, Notre Dame, Oregon 2.
Sure. 2-3.
Oklahoma 4.
So the
and
least
USC
trust
5.
you have in a coach with all the returning talent in that category is Lincoln Riley.
They lost the 2 most important pieces of their passing game. Now, they certainly can find wide receivers, but their 2 top wide receivers are gone. Remember what happened to their defensive coordinator?
Yeah, he just bounced.
They hired Gary Patterson, who hasn't coached in 4 years. Now, that's could work. I have no idea. He's also been out of the game for 4 years. And it didn't end well for him at TCU. They fired him, and then they immediately went to the national title game with Sonny Dykes.
Yeah.
So maybe it's good. That's also a massive roll, the dice, of a guy who hasn't been around football for 4 years, and I don't know how he is as a recruiter on that side of the ball. Why would I have any faith in Lincoln Riley figuring it out now? They've been a good team. I think the reality that they're in is the jump from good team to elite team is incredibly challenging. The jump from average, we won 7 games to, hey, we can win 9 is a much easier jump than going from we're a 9-3 team to an 11-1 team. Because if USC is an 11-1 team, you can only lose one of Oregon, at Penn State, Ohio State, at Indiana. Do you think they're going to go 3-1 in that stretch? That's not counting a game against Washington, a road trip to Wisconsin when it wouldn't shock me at all if they lost that game. Maybe a feisty Maryland team. Are you really going to only lose one of those games next year? They're not ready to make that jump.
Well, the expectations are there with that many returning starters, though.
8-4, baby. A couple of tidbits out of the NFL, including the best of this list. We'll get to that coming up next on The Fan. Magic Hat coming up top of the hour. Happy Thursday morning, everybody. We'll give you an update on the Players' Championship at some point. It's been fun watching so far this morning.
You're kind of built like McIntyre.
I'm built. Oh, Robert McIntyre?
Yeah, you look.
Yeah.
Your bodies look the same.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I got a lot of the Patty Reed stuff over the years. Our faces look
It's
alike.
the face thing with Patty Reed,
We're
but like
also
the
both
build.
a little on the fatter side, so you got a fuller face there. It's not a lean face, you know. Yeah. Nobody's comparing me to Akshay Bhatia.
I'd get more of that comp.
I'm not 6'5", 104 pounds.
Yeah.
Guy would blow over. You got to be careful out there.
He wore shorts on the practice range the other day. It's like they were barely past his junk. I'm like, damn, dude, you're really showing off those thighs.
He might be the first guy to blow into the water on 17. Just gonna push him over the edge. Strong gust, and he's gone. Where did he go? Akshay!
Like Kate Moss in Family Guy, whenever they open the window, she'd blow out.
She goes. Let's get to a list of the best of the rest. And does this list do anything for you?
I love a good list.
Because free agency has been absolutely bananas in the NFL. It's been fun to watch. The moves, the backs and forths, and we'll get to one player and an update on him in a moment here coming up at the bottom of the hour. But this is a list from our friend Bill Barnwell of ESPN. ESPN. The best free agents still available.
Oh, okay.
So what do we make of the list, and who are the guys that are left that you would say, oh, that's kind of interesting that he's still around? So Kyler Murray's obviously atop the list, right? Yep. He's number one. Although that might be coming to an end in the not too distant future.
You sure this isn't from Matt Bowen?
I'm looking at
the best remaining free agents.
I'm looking at a Bill Barnwell tweet. It's not an article, it's just a tweet. So he might have written the piece for ESPN. I'm just reading off a tweet from yesterday.
Okay.
Kyler Murray he has on this list. It's not a ranking, it's just listing players in certain order. Stephon Diggs still available. Does that do anything for you if you need a wide receiver?
Not with what's going on off the field.
Don't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole.
I mean, look, to a certain extent I was wrong, but I still feel like I was ultimately right.
The number one, not number one.
He's not a number one. I don't think he's been a number one for a couple seasons. His drop in Buffalo, that last playoff run, was inexcusable for a one.
Yeah.
He went to, where did he go after Buffalo?
Houston.
He went to Houston.
Tore his ACL.
He was fine, and then he tore his ACL. And then he went to New England. I didn't give much to it.
Yeah.
Played fine. I didn't think he was a true one and did almost literally nothing in the Super Bowl. Hadn't had this off-the-field choking allegation against him.
Offensively, they just did nothing in the playoffs. He did make that one sick catch in the snow game against Houston. But to your point, outside of that, not a lot. He's available. Let's stick at that position. Your guy, Juwan Jennings, still on the market. Now, he's not going to go back to San Francisco after the Mike Evans move, and that was already kind of believed going into the offseason, and the Niners have pivoted to a different wide receiver. Juwan Jennings has a little bit of that crazy in him, which could be
crazy, dude. Teams hate that guy.
Could be a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
Are we touching Juwan Jennings? You got firsthand knowledge of it.
It depends what the situation is. Like San Francisco choosing to go Mike Evans and hope he stays healthy makes a lot more sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Juwan Jennings went into last year. He wanted the contract extension. It kind of became a little bit of a argument like Ayuk in some ways with Niner fans on their like message board websites of do you pay him, do you not pay him, what do you pay him? He finished the season with 975 receiving yards.
How many games did he miss last year?
In 2024, he had 75 receiving yards. He caught 55 passes last season, and he was injured.
Yeah, he was banged up.
I thought he was underwhelming.
Okay.
He had moments where he'd make a good play in a game, but like largely for what I was expecting and hoping, I thought he was underwhelming.
I mean, I'm left to the point, too, of looking at, and we got a Charger fan who's a P1 who's chiming in earlier saying they haven't done anything. And it's not that they haven't done anything, but they haven't done some of the stuff that people wanted them to do. They're still one of those teams that needs, some would argue, a wide receiver. Now, maybe they feel differently inside that building. And if that's all that's left on the market, it's Stephon Diggs, who you're dealing with off-the-field issues, and what kind of distractions are going to come with that, and Juwan Jennings, who might be actually crazy.
I'll tell you where I think they're going to go. I think the Chargers would be primed to be looking at a Debo. And I would take Debo over Juwan and Diggs.
And Mike McDaniel's offense would be a lot of fun.
Yep.
He's a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, he's not as fast, and he's, in a lot of ways not as good. But a thick Tyreek Hill type weapon where you can use him as a running back or an in-round guy. I thought he had a surprisingly good year in Washington last year.
Considering the quarterback injuries and Daniels missing a lot of time. Yeah.
And then also Scary Terry got hurt. Yeah. So, Debo would be a guy that if I was a Charger fan, I wouldn't be shocked if they ended up signing him.
Tyreek Hill not on this list, but he's another one of those guys. So those are your wide receivers. You got some interior offensive linemen. We need to break that completely down, but Wyatt Teller, Joel Petonio is still on the market. Remember, Jawan Taylor was cut by the Chiefs, so he's out there still.
Cleveland's offensive line is on the market.
Everybody is on the market.
Petonio Antonio, they thought was going to retire.
You're going to have him.
And then he's like, actually, you know what? I'm going to keep playing.
I can get out of here. Give me that. At Cleveland, I'll take it. Yeah. Joey Bosa, any meat left on that bone?
None.
Not touching it. No. What about Dallas Goedert if you need a tight end? He's on the market still.
Well, would you rather have Goddard or Njoku?
I guess that comes down to what Goddard's looking for. Like if I get a 1-year deal, maybe
I can't imagine he's expensive, right?
Who, Goddard?
Yeah, at this point.
I think there's a reason he hasn't signed yet.
I don't know what his health situation is.
He's 31 years old. What were his numbers?
By the way,
year?
Njoku on Matt Bowen's, like he ranks him.
Yeah. Where does he have him ranked?
He's got Njoku significantly higher than Goddard. Goddard is a free agent?
That's what, according to Bill Barnwell, available players. I'm reading the tweet.
Okay, because I'm scrolling this Matt Bowen list. He doesn't have Dallas Goedert on here. This got to be a mistake.
So last year Goddard had 60 catches for 591 yards and 11 touchdowns. That's easily a career high for him in touchdowns.
Feels like he's at every 3 games, gives you a good game guy.
Pops for a couple of tuds, and you're like, hey, look at that.
And then kind of disappears. You're like, why didn't Dallas Goedert get more touches?
Yeah. Okay. Well, so just to kind of give a glimpse of what is left on the market, not a ton out there, but some guys at certain positions, if you need interior offensive line help, a couple of wide receivers who could be a maybe good number 2 or number 3 wide receiver, there's some value on the defensive side of the ball.
I really am curious what the Chargers are doing. And I think I think if you asked them, they'd probably point to Seattle and say, what they did, we're trying to build like that, where you draft really well, you let guys develop and get better, and you forget, well, you don't forget, but we have to remind ourselves here, the Chargers in a lot of ways are basically going to next year adding 2 offensive linemen because they weren't able to play together.
Yeah.
They were a playoff team without their 2 best tackles.
Well, and the only difference, though, is they have a $60 million quarterback instead of a $30 million quarterback.
So Alt's going to slide back to his natural position and not play out of position, and then you got Slater coming back, and if you got 2 offensive line guys on the edges staying healthy, protecting Justin Herbert, he's not taking massive hits and wearing a weird cast hand where he can only carry Madison Beer with one arm. Maybe your season's a little different here. Maybe you sign a guy like Debo, and I understand people. Like, free agency is an interesting – we have all of the case evidence and all the studies that basically say just because you go crazy in free agency doesn't mean you win.
No, it does not.
But I also understand the feeling and sentiment of fans. Like, why aren't we adding anything?
Right. Why aren't you – because the Chargers coming into the offseason had a ton of cap space to spend.
Yeah, but I think some of that, too, and this isn't a shot at that person that texted in about the Chargers. I think this goes for a lot of football fans. Not every diehard football fan is nerding out on the 2 and 3 deeps. They know who some of the 2 deeps are, but they didn't know 3 deep because that 3 deep might be the 2 deep now, and the 2 deep is the starter.
Very well could be.
And so some of that organizational decision of maybe we don't need to go spend a ton of money here. We can sign a couple veterans at this spot and that spot, but we'll draft, we'll continue to develop through that way, and then just retain our own guys. Isn't Khalil Mack announced he's come back?
Yeah, he's going to come back on a 1-year deal.
I'd rather have Khalil Mack than Joey Bosa.
Have they done enough for Charger superfan Jason Swigard?
I think they're being strategic in how they go about. I really like the Mitchell signing at running back behind
they added him today.
Hampton. He's a 3rd down back. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. I like that. Some of the other things they've done. But we'll see. But I thought I saw a stat that whoever spent the most in free agency, their win increase in the next, like all of them increased in wins the next year, and I want to say the average, like over the last 10 years, is like 4.5, 5 wins.
So there is a direct correlation between spending and
improving. So if you
go
on a big spending spree.
Well, who is it though?
The tough part with that though is that you have a lot of teams who are the reason you have money to spend is because you didn't pay for a good roster, and you were probably one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like the Raiders,
you restructured and your quarterback's contract changes. You opened up, and you're a good team who can spend $30 million.
Right.
And you spend $35 million and you're good because, well, you're already good.
Let's use the Raiders as an example. They came into the offseason with more money to spend than anybody. They went 3-14. They have spent a butt ton of money and then added a big salary back onto the books.
Unreasonable to say
they win 5 games.
The only trick will be they will have a brand new rookie quarterback starting from day one.
Rookie head coach as well, too.
And a rookie head coach. So will that factor into it? But it's not hard to see them winning 6 or 7 games next year.
Yeah, you always want your team to do more. I understand the frustration. I still think that I would love to see them get some form of legitimate weapon. Like Debo's a good piece. I don't know where he's at health-wise and age and this point in his career and what the next 2 to 3 years look like for him. So it's intriguing. I don't know how much of a difference that makes for me because he's not a number 1 weapon. But those guys are just not
So-
easy to find. Like they don't grow on trees. It's a lot simpler to say go do it than it is to actually go pull it off.
So New England would be one that kind of flies in my face on the argument of like just because you go crazy doesn't mean anything. New
They
England
spent a ton of money last year.
They spent the most.
Yeah.
And they got to the Super Bowl. Minnesota was 2.
Didn't go well.
Giants 3.
Didn't go well.
Seahawks 4.
Went great.
Went great. Part of that is Darnold's contract.
Yes.
Which is a massive part of the equation there. It's almost half of what they spent.
It's not also the complete picture, too, because it's not taking into account who did they draft and how many of those rookies had great runs.
Tennessee.
Terrible.
Carolina.
Fine, but only because of the division.
New Orleans.
Terrible.
Arizona.
Terrible.
And then you have Chicago.
Hey!
And then Indy's quarterback got hurt.
Yeah.
So
you're 3.5 out of 10. It's what I'll give you. Ballpark.
Well, and also of Seattle stuff like Witherspoon, Eamon Worry.
Yes.
They brought in Leonard Williams a couple seasons ago, not last year. Right? Think about all the guys they have developed and grown paired with JSN. I mean, they spent in free agency. They also had a lot of guys take huge leaps this year.
Yes, they did.
In their careers and become real, like, solidified studs.
Impact guys.
Yes.
No doubt about it. So some guys still available. Free agency still going on. The league year has officially begun. Let's get to, is this guy the Damian Lillard of the NFL? And we'll talk about it next. First, here's Swag with Sports Center.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, college basketball conference tournaments have begun this morning. First game up, 20th ranked Miami of Ohio after going undefeated in the regular season, starting play in the MAC championship. They lead UMass 27-23, 6.5 to go in their quarterfinal matchup. 3 automatic bids handed out Wednesday night. McNeese State winning the Southland, beating Stephen F. Austin 76-59. Lehigh is your Patriot League champion with a 74-60 win over Boston University. And in the Big Sky, 7th-seeded Idaho took down Montana 77-66. Quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic all set. United States safely through to the knockout round thanks to Italy's 9-1 rout of Mexico Wednesday night. Vinny Pasquantino with 3 home runs leading the Italian attack. U.S. will take on Canada on Friday. Italy faces Puerto Rico on Saturday. Round 1 of the Players' Championship. The morning wave has made the turn. Maverick McNeely, Tommy Fleetwood at 4 under par with a 1-shot lead. Victor Hovland in the group at 3 under. Scotty Scheffler just 1 under through 9. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of 1080 AM.
A positive trend heading into next week. I'll tell you what that is in a moment. Magic Hat, top of the hour. We will point and laugh together at 9:30. Have we found, maybe we already knew this, and the irony is the team that he plays for, have we found the Damian Lillard of the NFL, or is this a, you know what, we're not getting what we want, so what the hell, let's run this thing back.
Because you don't want to be here. We don't want you here. Why don't you go out and act like you love it? Why don't you look
is that what we're dealing
attractive
with?
Again?
So right now, the stands from the Raiders and from Max Crosby in the aftermath of the deal falling apart with the Ravens and his goodbye on social media getting deleted has been to say, everything happens for a reason. Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. I'm a Raider. I'm back. Run that bleep.
Yeah, okay.
Do we have the Damian Lillard of the NFL, or is this the Raiders saying, dude, we were getting 2 first-round pick offers. Now we're only getting offered a 3rd and a 4th, and we might need to hold on to you.
Which isn't shocking. Coincidentally, I had a buddy reach out and was like, dude, I actually caught most of your Andrew Brandon. It wasn't as bad as you guys made it sound. I was like, it felt worse in the moment.
It always feels different when you're in the middle of it.
But he was short on a lot of answers. He also pointed to just everybody's an adult there. Like, if he ends up having to strap it back up and be a Raider, guess what he'll do?
They're paying him $40 million next year, right? He's going to be okay.
I still think he's going to get traded.
You still think it'll get dealt?
It's not that he's not Dame. Like,
would you do this, though? Like, why would you come out and do this publicly if you're Crosby?
Because it benefits both of you. He's going to retire a Raider. He's a Raider legend. Dude, does he want to be Dame and be a Raider for life? Yeah.
He always did.
Sadly, that organization blows chunks and has given him nothing to be excited about. So, does he love the Raiders? Yeah, from I came into the league and you gave me my chance out of the 4th round and I've had great success here in multiple cities with you guys. Sure. But also, he wants to be traded. They want to move him. They signed all of these people. I think it's fairly obvious to say that if you put something out like this, people are like, oh, he's pretty jacked. Okay, the team. Now you have a different conversation about what compensation is. It's not going to be 2 firsts. If a team trades 2 firsts for him, that GM will immediately be on the hostage seats. So will it be a 3rd and a 2nd, a 2nd and a 5th?
A 1 and a 5.
A 1 by itself?
1-1.
I mean, how many fan bases? I know the Niners are doing this. How many other fan bases of teams that are in contention or hoping to be in contention are saying, I'd trade my first for Max Crosby and take a swing?
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Well,
heartbeat. Unless I'm one of
if his knees develop arthritis and he almost doesn't play at all next year and then can't go
this
forward,
is not an argument for picks 2, 3, 4, 5, hell, even 6, like a chunk of the top 10, mind you. The Jets, right? No. Cardinals, no, I wouldn't do it. Titans, I wouldn't do it. Giants, I wouldn't do it. Browns, you just have so many holes. I'm not trading the 6th overall pick.
Could you imagine Crosby and
Garrett together? And they still have Jacksonville's first-round pick, but that's the 24th overall pick.
So if you're Cleveland, would you think about that?
No, because you still don't have Shedeur Sanders is your quarterback.
Damn right, dude.
Deshaun Watson going to play a game?
No.
You starting 5'2" Dylan Gabriel? No, that doesn't. Your defense was already good.
I was kind of just kidding.
Yes. If I were the commies at 7, I'd kick around it. If I were the Chiefs at 9, I'd kick around it. They wouldn't trade him in the division, I don't think, at least. I know the Ravens
9th pick is pretty tasty.
The Bucks at 15, I'd contemplate it. The Lions at 17, I would do it.
The Bucks tried for Hendrickson.
Yeah.
The problem is the medicals are just not.
Cowboys have 2 first-round picks this year.
The Cowboys reportedly
the
want him, but their medical staff also did what the Ravens said, except they didn't make the trade.
If I were the Eagles, I'd trade the 23rd pick for him.
That was the other thing.
If I were the Bills, I'd trade the 26th pick for him.
Throughout yesterday, a lot of intel came out. Well, the Bills just signed Bradley Chubb. They're not going to do that.
It's not going to happen.
So a lot of intel came out that multiple teams had evaluated, and their doctors were like, we ain't signing off on this.
Yeah.
So the Ravens weren't alone. They're just the ones that agreed to a trade and then pulled out, and so everybody had this reaction to it.
Right.
Ultimately, I still think he's going to get moved, and I think the compensation's going to be way less than they originally thought it would be.
A little bit of posturing going on. The Raiders are like, well, now that he's back, we have no plans of trading him. Crosby's saying, now that I'm back, we're running it back, baby. And it would be really funny to see all that messaging for a week, and then, oh, look at that, he got traded again.
Does he delete that tweet? He probably has to, doesn't he?
You have to go back and delete it. If you deleted the goodbye, you got to delete the I'm back tweet. It can't go both ways.
Yeah.
So that's the latest out of the NFL and the Crosby scenario. A positive trend going into next week. What do we make of this? What is the reasoning behind it? That's next on The Fan.
Big hits, big bets, big plays.
Today I'm laying the big wood.
This is the Lay and Wood Report, brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 50 years.
That one, I'm not sure if he got it all. Let's see. It's deep. It is gone. He's hit 3.
Then he's going to have so much espresso in him, he may not go to sleep tonight.
There's FS1 on the call. World Baseball Classic. The winning of one team leads Team USA to advance to the quarterfinals. Italy laying wood. Vinny P, as they know him on the streets.
Vinny P.
He had his third homer of the game last night against Mexico, and they win 9-1.
The Italians, somehow, someway, winning the World Baseball Classic would be one of the funniest outcomes possible. Japan, Dominican, United States, all these conversations. Italy doing it? Let's go, Italy.
Lane Wood Report brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 60 years. They have delivery, custom cutting, and special orders. Customer service is exceptional. Long-time local company helping the community. You can visit them at Southeast Stark Street or online at mrplywoodinc.com.
AM.
All right, Magic Hat coming up top of the hour. We will point and laugh at 9:30. I'll explain that when we get there. But I don't know if you gentlemen are aware of this, I'm going to go ahead and remind you in case you forgot. There is a little something that begins a week from today.
Excuse me?
Stop it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No one cares!
A week from today, the NCAA tournament begins. For those who want to count the playing games, you can. And watch the 13 seed versus 13 seed. Go for it.
I'll be watching.
You will
Dayton,
be watching.
Ohio.
Dayton, Ohio.
Oh,
first
I was like,
four.
what did I miss here that made you guys just have that weird interaction?
It's his stupid. The tournament begins in the first four.
It doesn't, though.
I know. It's ridiculous. It begins a week from today. And I saw this, and I'm curious if we have ideas why. Is it a random outlier? Much ado about nothing? A trend? Just a question. Open-ended. Explore the space together.
All right.
I saw this last night that, and now that we're in the final week of the college basketball, conference tournament season before the tournament begins. ESPN, which airs a huge chunk of college basketball games throughout the course of the year.
Yes.
Had their networks had their best men's college hoops regular season from a rating standpoint since 2014-2015. The ratings year over year from last year to this year up 25%. That is a massive jump. Big Monday, which is what they've been doing Big Monday since 1987.
Yep.
In the aftermath of Monday Night Football ending, it's their big showcase game, had its best season on record from a ratings perspective. Is this a blip, like just a random luck of the ratings draw? Is this a trend? I'm just curious what we chalk up as the reason behind it.
I think one it had to do because they have the Big 12, and you've got DeBanza and Peterson, two of the top 3 draft picks. They put them on absolutely as much.
They have the ACC as well, don't they? They
have
got
the
Duke
ACC
and you got
with Boozer. So,
but they would have had Cooper Flagg last year. Cooper Flagg was one of the biggest draws.
Yeah, but
we've seen
everybody knew he was going to be the number 1 draft pick.
I still think there was an incredible draw to watch Cooper Flagg at Duke.
Plus you had North Carolina
Zion and those
good
teams
again.
at Duke. Yeah,
I think you had a combination of things. I don't think there's any one. I think it's absolutely has a lot to do with what he's pointing to. Your top 3 picks are debatable number 1 picks. The last time you had that, it was Chet, it was Jabari, it was Paolo Banchero.
Yeah.
And then we didn't know who it was going to be until the day before the draft. I think the same thing's going to happen here. Duke being number 1 and being in the conversation is always good for that sport. Arizona's back to being a juggernaut again, like a legit juggernaut with Tommy Lloyd. They just got a huge commitment the other day on ESPN. Michigan is a Big Ten team who has one of the biggest fan bases in all of sports. They're number 3 in the country. Then you get the SEC, and the defending national champion is in the top 5. And then you've got, old school good program that's been back the last few years in Kelvin Sampson and Houston. You've got UConn that won back-to-back not that long ago. Michigan State is a top 10 team. I think it's entirely about top-of-the-line talent paired with traditional, familiar juggernauts or institutions with massive fan bases that are involved here.
I guess the only question I would have, because I don't disagree with what you guys are saying, I just – and maybe you could tell me the landscape at the top of the draft is different, because to Swag's point, we knew that Cooper Flagg was going to be the number 1 pick. It was the flag, flunk for flag or whatever we were saying, tank for flag, I can't remember. But we knew he was going to be the number 1 pick. A lot of the stuff that we said, though, that was kind of true last year, right? Like Duke had 2 of the top 4 picks in the draft.
Yeah, but people didn't see. I'm also not going to play revisionist here. People were doubting and questioning Con Knippel because he was white.
Yeah, I mean, I did it.
And now he's going to win Rookie of the Year.
Yes, he is.
So I'm
just saying he was still the top 4 pick in the draft, so he was a.
But I didn't know who he was coming into the season until our boss literally said, "There's buzz that they think Knippel is going to be better than Flagg," and I was like, "Who's Knippel?" And he's like, "He's another freshman."
Right.
I googled him just so I could know,
because a lot of those
these
teams,
3 we've known about.
Sure,
DeBonce's been in this. He's been in the news for 2 seasons.
Edgecombe was at Baylor, and
Boozer's,
they weren't a dominant
Boozer's
team.
kid, and then you have
the Rutgers
Peterson.
kids who were picks 2 and 5, and
but Rutgers sucked.
They were terrible.
You didn't want to watch
and
them.
the Big Ten's not part of ESPN.
No, so you don't get the Michigan credit for ESPN or Michigan State because they're not on ESPN.
Unless they were in a non-conference holiday tournament or something.
I just
like that.
thought
What channel was the Duke Michigan game on? Was that CBS?
No, that was because it was technically a Duke home
one-off.
game. A one-off, yeah.
Yeah, ESPN
but that was
that's an
ESPN
ESPN game,
right?
right?
It was an ESPN game, yeah.
So,
fair point.
Yeah, I'm not saying that all of the ESPN ratings have to do with Michigan But I'm just saying, like, I think the interest in the sport this year, and also...
I just found it interesting. Like, have you found yourself watching more college basketball this year?
Well, it's funny because we did a rant, and I was like, it sucks. And then maybe 2 weeks later, I was watching a quad box.
4 college basketball games.
And then I ended up watching, like, almost every night I've had college basketball
Somehow,
on.
some way.
Yes. Even the small tournaments, I know none of these teams and their coaches. I've been kind of following, and I saw, Idaho yesterday in the Big Sky. These are on ESPN2s. And also, I just find the news flat out utterly depressing.
Yeah, just looking for something to watch.
And I'm tired of trying to make sense of anything, so I just watch sports and what's been on every night.
Yeah.
College basketball's on every day.
You also had the
basketball.
NHL took a break for the Olympics, and the NBA All-Star break is longer than ever. So if you remember that week, other than the Olympic hockey that we were following, and those games were early in the morning because they were in Italy.
Fair point.
The thing that was on every night kind of for a week and a half without any other distractions was college basketball.
I also think the coaching in that sport, like I ridiculed college basketball off and on several times for about a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think in some ways I'm right of like there's years where it's been an unwatchable product.
You get teams who have a bad shooting night, and it's just like...
Well, the Big 12 tournament is a disaster.
Ugh.
Their floor is a problem. We haven't even talked about that. Their floor is ruining their tournament. So, like, we love all this artificial CGI crap that we want to put on the court and make it all fun for people in the stands. The players don't seem to like it whatsoever, and the results are not very good. I think the coaching now and the way their systems run, it's clear to me that America, in a million different little ways, as sports fans, the constant barrage of the NBA sucks is all you hear. Now, I disagree. I think the NBA is great. I think if they reduce games, it's because it's more physical and fast-paced than it's ever been. You just apply physicality to elbows in the face. I'm talking about physicality in different ways. College basketball still running sets and running a hybrid system of what college used to be with what the NBA is now.
Mm-hmm.
You got Shire, Tommy Lloyd, Dusty May, Todd Golden, Sampson, and Hurley are old school. You got Izzo still in this. You got Underwood, who's an older coach, but he's kind of going more European style with how he runs his system. Then you got Hoiberg in Nebraska. You still have you have so many good coaches. Patino's helped bring St. John's back.
Crazy Dan Hurley.
Yeah. So I just think
the interesting part about that, though, is how many legends have stepped away from the game in the last 5 years.
That's called age, brother.
Well, no, I'm just saying, but
I think that has more to do with recruiting
in
the NIL and the business of it rather than the coaching.
Because I don't disagree with what you're saying.
I don't care about. You either want to evolve with it or get the hell out of it.
But
and so I respect
who would
both
be
sides.
a bigger draw as a coach, Shire or Coach K? Like, that's the unique part about this rating being so good. Because I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think a lot of it is fair. But it's also like we are 4 or 5 years removed from having like icons at every big program who have multiple national champions, and a lot of those coaches have stepped outside of a few of them that you mentioned in Michigan State, Houston that still have them.
Yeah.
Kansas, right? Like some of those guys are still around, but a lot of big name coaches have stepped out in the last couple of years.
There's no doubt, but to give Shire credit here, because Coach K is in the running of one of the top 3 coaches, if not in that for everybody now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd agree?
Yes, have to.
Okay. What is the thing that people said about DeBoer going to Alabama?
Replacing a legend, wouldn't
you
want
don't
to
want
do
to
it.
be the guy to replace the guy? John Shire said, don't give a damn. Give me the job. And John Shire is the best recruiter in college basketball.
Yep.
And when you actually watch his team, it's not a former player just going, roll it out.
Let's go, boys.
This dude is a genius.
Yeah, he was dialed in.
He's ready to be a legitimate top-flight coach. And I don't know if Duke will win the whole thing, but Duke has not fallen off at all.
No, they might win the national title this year.
They don't appear to be falling off anytime.
K got there in
recruiting class every year.
88, 89. When did K get to Duke? 88, 89?
No, it was before that.
Before that. It was early 80s.
Okay, early 80s. He won 5. He retired, 3 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah.
So
in the Final Four against North Carolina.
Oh, it's an all-time favorite
all-time
sports moment for me. From the start,
1980.
So 80 to 2022
and
or 3?
Coach K's first 3 or 4 years, he was like on the ropes.
17 and 13, 10 and 17, 11 and 17. They didn't make the tournament until his 4th year, and then in 1985-86, they went to the national championship.
My only point of bringing K up is he won 5 in the entire span of it. How long was he there?
And 40.
Yeah.
So,
Dean Smith won, 2?
Yeah, so it's like winning national championships. Guess what? Breaking news. Real hard, Bob. John Shire having Duke be this good still and continuing the success and the recruiting, I think it's been a very big combination. I don't think there's any one answer, but also the top end talent, man. You want to tune in and catch these guys.
Yeah.
Peterson and DeBonsa, to Swag's point, they've been on ESPN. If Peterson doesn't have a side ache or a tummy ache, they're on ESPN like once a week. You know,
Tummy ache needs to be his nickname in the NBA. That's a good nickname.
If he's going to be this in the NBA and like has DMPs randomly, we need to call him Tummy ache.
It's a damn shame his name doesn't start with
because
T.
Also when his
name was like Tommy, call him Tummy Ache Tommy. Gotta be so good.
Tummy Ache Tommy is
Tummy Ache
really
Tommy
good.
would be a phenomenal nickname. Last one on this, I know we're against it.
Yeah.
Is this something that is a trend or an outlier because of the top of the draft class?
I don't know.
We have to do a wait and see.
That's going to be more to the fact of
like 25% year over year is massive, and you can tell me the top of the class it was not terrible.
Yeah, great Final
Cooper
Four.
Flagg is the great white hope carrying Duke. He was the number 1 pick. We were captivated by him and how far he was going to go.
But that was one school.
Yeah.
So you're tuning in for Duke games as opposed to every single night I got somebody that might be a top 5 pick.
Yeah, very well true. It was interesting. College basketball is having a great moment. Tournament begins next Thursday. We'll be out at A&A for it. Looking forward to that. Fan Madness being back. So saw that numbers up year over year for college hoops on ESPN. Lots to get to. We're almost to the final hour. Magic Hat kicks it off. We'll laugh and point at 9:30. Don't go anywhere. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 FM, The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, college basketball conference tournament action already underway this morning. All eyes on the MAC title. After Miami of Ohio went undefeated in the regular season, can they finish it off? They lead Massachusetts 39-37 at halftime of the MAC quarterfinals. 8-10 second round. George Washington out to a 16-8 lead over Fordham. Set to tip off 10th-ranked Virginia taking on NC State in the ACC quarters. St. John's and Providence in the Big East quarters. And Ohio State and Iowa State in the third round of the Big Ten. Quarterfinals of the WBC all set. United States with a tip the cap to Italy, who routed Mexico 9-1 to make sure they're in those quarterfinals. They will take on Canada Friday. Italy will face Puerto Rico on Saturday. Round one of the Players' Championship, and the morning wave has made the turn. Maverick McNeely, Tommy Fleetwood, your leaders at 4 under par through 11 holes. Victor Hovland alone in third at 3 under. Scotty Scheffler just 1 under through 10. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Sports Saturday.
The Magic Hat. It's the Magic Hat.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Bring it on. Basically a bunch of topics,
Yeah.
and we have no idea where the sports gods want us to go.
Okay.
Until Swag pulls it out of his Magic Hat.
Hocus pocus, where are you?
Now you see me. Now you don't.
It's magic.
It's simply what it is. It's magic. We don't know what's going to come out of this hat.
Where is that rabbit?
Abracadabra, MFers. Let's do the Magic Hat.
The only thing this hat's good for is the trash can.
Hey, let's do this. Final hour. Dirt and Sprague here. Portland Sports Leader. 105.1 FM The Fan. 1080 AM. The Odyssey app. Live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody.
Squeeze them damn things! Make sure you got 2!
Got a lot to get to here in the final hour of the show. Get you set for your night in sports to wrap things up. A little bit of a point and laugh segment coming up bottom of the hour. But as always, 9 a.m. on a Thursday, slightly thereafter. We're just running a tad late today. College hoops will do it. This time of year, college hoops gets our juices going.
Capture the flag was the term you were looking for.
Thank you to the firm of Patrick Harris, or Patrick Harris of the firm. Is that what I was trying to say? For coming in and reminding me of the saying there. They are coming up at the top of the hour. Let's get to, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. I'm letting Swag finish one last second duty and making sure he's all wrapped up.
No, I've got stuff here. I'm still getting. I can't do it until
you can't.
I get
Come
the
on,
things
Sprague.
in.
Can we all call out whose fault this is? Who's the problem here?
You know, he got in too late from Vegas. This is kind of his fault.
You would have sent the audio 2 days ago.
I had it ready for Tuesday.
Had he been here on
Monday,
Tuesday, you would have emailed him the audio to put it in the system.
He just wanted to be, Johnny come Vegas and be at the craps tables all night.
Well, since we're hold on,
clearly was not.
Let me read a couple of thoughts because I just thought we were talking about college hoops and the ratings, and then we'll get to. I promise, Magic Hat nearly on the brink. It's almost here.
Okay.
Somebody texted in and said, I think it has to do with college football being so big that it spills over to basketball due to collegiate fandom. Second, the NBA is garbage. People choosing college for basketball viewing. And
that's just an incorrect take, but also why was that not the case last year?
And that's my point. Like, college football has always been the second most popular sport in America for the last 25 years.
Duke's not a juggernaut in football.
Duke's always that's why
ACC
it was
champs,
sure,
but not a juggernaut in football. People don't forget.
God, I forgot about that.
8-5.
I forgot about that. Manny Diaz. They won the ACC.
Wait till media day, and he goes,
God.
we saw Miami up there, and we thought, why couldn't we get invited? We could have beaten Miami. We won the conference.
Somebody said ESPN did launch their streaming platform this year, $30 versus YouTube TV for $80. So maybe more people subscribe to ESPN's platform and just watch games because of that.
Let me see if we have any, because I don't know how that's gone for them, the post
I don't
the
either.
Streaming.
Yeah, I mean, I still do YouTube TV, although they've come out with their own sports bundle lately, and I don't know if that's hit it for people or not. But
well, I just got. I'm still hanging on to cable.
You have not cut the cord yet.
October 20th, 2025. So the end of last year.
But I just got.
It says ESPN's direct-to-consumer stream had gotten 2.1 million signups.
See, that's not that many.
They called it a strong start.
I mean, I'm sure it's strong for them, but that's not an overwhelming
Well, we
number.
just got through the cable free ESPN Unlimited. And I can access it through the cable box.
Okay.
So that just happened this last month.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that a lot of articles are pointing to that they think it went really well.
Okay.
So people just ditched traditional cable bundles
for ESPN
to just have ESPN access.
I mean, 99% of the things I watch on television are sports. Right?
Yes. No
All right, what do we got? Magic hat time.
Did he blow it?
Yeah, this one's mine, so thank you so much.
Is this the last?
Well,
of course,
coincidentally, the cut is not in there.
It's trying to
Yeah,
update.
no, I know.
Is it the catcher one?
No, so you'll know this catcher one when he draws it. This is mine. I'll give it a second here to just kind of tee it up for you, okay? Because the cut is 20 seconds. So the Oscars are this weekend.
They are.
Are you going to watch?
No.
Okay. I will. Conan O'Brien's hosting. I love Conan O'Brien.
Has he said anything about the kid at the Christmas party and the?
Yeah, he did an interview. Actually,
did he? Okay.
He didn't go hard on it. He just was like, how surreal it's felt.
How do you not think about that forever?
I didn't hear him mention the kid. I think he's trying to steer away from like actual details of the event.
Because the report was he was at the party and
Rob Reiner was one of his best friends in the world. Like him and his wife and Rob Reiner and his wife like hung out religiously.
Same neighborhood, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
they share a lot of views and opinions and values, and like that was his best friend. He talked about how surreal it all was. Anyways, Oscars this weekend.
Okay,
a lot of interest. We'll see if Ryan Coogler in the Sinners movie has a good showing. We've had all these build-up awards. I know not everybody follows it. One guy up for the leading best male actor category is one of my favorites, Timothée Chalamet.
Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme is a fantastic movie.
Okay, you've seen it. You like it?
I saw it in theaters. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's like 4 movies in one movie, and you kind of go, I don't know what this was, but I enjoyed this experience.
Okay.
Not probably an easy rewatch, but fun.
A fun ride.
Yeah. I hope I sold that okay.
That makes sense.
Anyways, he's really good in it. I think he's good in everything he does. He did a hour-long conversation with Matthew McConaughey. They both starred in Interstellar together. He was a child, McConaughey, obviously. McConaughey also claims he's only seen the movie one time.
Interstellar?
To which Timothée is like, I've seen the movie at least 20 times. You are a liar.
I've never seen Interstellar.
Anyways, he was talking about advocating for movies in this new wave of aged young people, right? Their attention spans, all this stuff. And he basically was like, I want to make such good work that I want people to care. I want it to matter to people. And this is part of his answer that got clipped. It went super viral, and I'll play it for you.
And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. All respect to the ballet and opera people out there. I just lost 14 cents in viewership. But, damn, I just took shots for no reason.
That's not a shot. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. So
that clip went viral, and then all these people in the opera and ballet industry went nuts.
Oh, cram it in your cram hole.
Started posting videos like, look, the overall point of like, you're an artist taking a shot at other artists. You don't need to. He kind of admits that in the clip. Also, the context is he just doesn't want movies to fall into the not as important in society.
Yes.
Placeholders. Because no disrespect to people that do ballet or opera. You're great at what you do. It's not what it was 30 years ago, right, in the mainstream.
And it's still niche.
But
yes,
people are now wondering, because of this, and now hoity-toity the awards can be.
Is this going to cost him a chance?
Did he just cost himself the Oscar for
when does the voting actually take place? Like,
the voting's already happened. In fact, the voter came out and said, I haven't watched half these movies. I don't have time.
Yeah.
And people were like, we need to revamp the voting process.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's not that much different from Heisman voters, right?
Yeah, I guess you're not wrong there.
Did he cost himself the
That would be
Oscar?
really stupid if he did, for pointing out a fact that people don't care about opera or ballerinas.
That's not a fact that sticks well in the arts community.
Facts are facts. Facts don't care about feelings. Facts are facts.
Okay.
People don't care about the opera. Name me one opera star. There you go. Name me one ballerina.
Pavarotti.
Yeah. Is he still alive?
I don't know.
If Swag doesn't know, we're not going to know.
Baryshnikov was the only.
Name me a ballerina.
The Nutcracker.
No, not a ballet, a ballerina.
Oh, right. The lead in the Nutcracker.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not.
It's a fact. People don't care. It's fine. Doesn't mean it's not great art. Doesn't mean it doesn't take skill. Doesn't mean it's you can commit yourself to your art form. That's
absolutely.
We don't watch it.
We shared a building with a ballet.
We used to, yeah. The Portland Ballet Theater.
Down by the old spaghetti factory?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'd be really dumb if that cost him. I don't know what his merits are to win the award because I haven't seen any of the movies.
I think Michael B. Jordan should win because Michael B. Jordan was 2 characters in a lead role in a movie.
Which one is that?
Sinners.
Oh, okay. So I couldn't remember if Sinners was this year or last year.
He's the twins.
Yeah.
He's two characters.
Still haven't seen
for
it.
a whole what?
I know.
It's a really good movie.
I know. I've heard great
You
things.
are missing out.
There's a new World War II documentary coming out on History Channel this month. I'm excited about that.
Light people.
He's no phoenix. He's a hawk.
Oh.
Have you seen this?
At long last, a
Saw this
legend
morning.
returns. An icon. A champion.
I love his voice.
An American hero. His name, Lonnie the Hawk Hawkins.
That's me. I'm him. That's who they're talking about. If you're wondering.
So this is the first actual, quote, TV comedy series that Will Ferrell has been involved when. It's called The Hawk. It's coming out on Netflix. And apparently the storyline, he is a former champion on the PGA Tour, but he's long been since forgotten. And he's needs one major to complete the career Grand Slam.
So he comes back.
So now he's coming back,
to
but
try and win one more
his
major.
hotshot son now is on the tour.
Yeah.
Has some influencer bride, and he's out there. His ex-wife is somehow still hanging around.
So it's a bit of a Talladega Nights, but
So
golf is what you're telling me?
I get the sense this is Talladega Nights meets the PGA Golf Tour.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
I was going to say this is Talladega Nights meets Blades of Glory, because I believe his skater in Blades of Glory is also the washed-up old
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy that used to be the solo champ, and now he's got to do doubles.
He's got to
or
do
whatever.
doubles to be relevant again. Look, I'm going to watch
I'm
every
going to watch,
second
and
of
I
this.
so want this to be good, and I will be so disappointed if it stinks.
What's the hit rate with Will Ferrell for you guys? When he makes something and you watch it, you go, I enjoyed that, or that was really good.
I feel like I've done a good job of avoiding the landmines that have existed in his catalog over the last handful of years.
Can you give me an example of a landmine you said,
What
no,
was the
no
prison
chance.
one that he did with Kevin Hart? What was that movie?
Oh, Get Hard?
There's no chance that movie was good.
Saw it in theaters.
Was it good?
It
Gives
wasn't
you some laughs.
bad.
Okay.
It
Laughs.
wasn't his best movie, no.
It's been a while. I think to the point though, it's been a while since I've
I don't think
seen
he
anything
has
Will Ferrell related.
duds the way some other people. I mean, there's some that are.
Even a bad movie though, he can make you laugh a number of
Yes.
times and leave you saying,
he doesn't
"Oh, that
have
was funny."
duds the way some of
Sandler's
movies were duds and
Yes.
other ones.
I'm trying to see in the order. Okay, so he's got...
Actually, Will and Harper is one of the best documentaries I've seen in a while. That just
Will
came
Harper
out.
I watched, but that's a doc. That's like a real life.
That's not
him
it's a
and his
different
friend.
thing. Yeah, I'm trying to Spirited. He came out with. I saw that
Dude,
the holiday
Spirited's
movie.
Great.
Him
Him and Ryan Reynolds
are
doing
great.
A Christmas Carol is fantastic.
A lot of these are like smaller roles. The Shrink Next Door I did not see. I think he played a pretty big role in that. That was a TV series that he did.
Wasn't that him with?
I think that was more of a serious.
Yeah, wasn't it on? God, who was it? The SNL gal. Dude,
I think it's Paul Rudd. Him and Paul Rudd are in it.
Oh, okay, but I know
Catherine Hahn.
No, not Catherine Hahn.
She's in it.
She's the wife that cheats on her husband in Step Brothers.
Yes.
I'm talking about the gal who was in SNL for years, and she Bridesmaids. The lead in Bridesmaids.
Oh, Kristen Wiig?
Kristen Wiig and him did
something-
like a random Oxygen movie, and it was like serious.
What is this?
And people were like, "Wait, do I laugh at this, or you guys? What are you
Yeah.
doing here?"
I never saw his Holmes and Watson one that he did, where there was like the spoof on
Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. I never saw that, so I'd say the hit rate's still pretty good. I saw this trailer and I'm psyched for it. It's just golf. It's Will Ferrell. It's Netflix. Like, you're going to be able to get a little blue. I don't know if it'll be good. You just always are fearful in the back of your mind. I will be disappointed. What was the show that we all thought was going to be awesome? The Space Force show? Wasn't it like Steve Carell?
Oh,
It had an
yes. That was
awesome
so
cast,
bad.
and they came out
Yeah.
with the trailers, and you're like, this is going to be hilarious. And the show just
It was so
flopped.
They
It was
had like
terrible.
one or two episodes, and after that,
It pulled it. It was
right off the
gone.
cliff.
So I'm hoping that's not the case here,
Yep.
but I definitely will watch.
I want this to be good.
I never ended up watching Daddy's Home
I didn't either.
with Wahlberg.
I did not see that
I
one.
loved
They did
the other
two of those,
guys.
didn't they?
They did two of them.
They did
yeah.
two of them. Never watched either one. I loved the other guys.
Other guys
the
is a
other guys
classic.
was great.
It just I don't know. There was something about the preview of Daddy's Home. I'm like, this doesn't interest me that much.
Was it what's his nuts? Mel Gibson being in it?
No, because that's the second one.
That was the second one.
Oh, he wasn't in the first one. He was in two.
Lithgow and Gibson were the dads.
Second one and two. Okay.
It's just the whole premise of the show is like, let me guess, Wahlberg's going to be his character from Four Brothers.
The same character he's
but
always.
In a comedy, right. And then Will Ferrell's going to be the stepdad who's...
The goofy stepdad.
The goofy dad joke guy. I don't know. Just something about it didn't interest me much.
More Magic Hat around the corner. An update quickly. The Players' Championship, they have blown the horn. It's just started absolutely pouring, and so we are now on a delay at the Players' Championship. More Magic Hat next on The Fan.
When the tournament moment calls for bold, break your beak. Beak Breaker IPA from Pelican Brewing. Enough to break your beak, not your bracket.
He hits it three. And Indiana needs a timeout. The lead has grown to 13.
That was from last night in the Big Ten tournament. Northwestern beat Indiana. It was on the Peacock Network. They won 74-61, so they continue. Might have a chance to make the tournament. One a crazy stat on this. Indiana has not beaten Northwestern in basketball in 1,855 days.
I was one of those people that thought them getting Darren DeVries was going to be a really good hire, and that year one was an absolute dud. They're going to miss the NCAA tournament because of that loss, and Kurt Cignetti's only making that job worse.
It's wild, dude. Football school now. Bracket Buster Report brought to you by Beak Breaker IPA from Pelican Brewing. Packed with citrus hops, killer aroma, smooth finish. Beak Breaker, enough to break your beak, not your bracket.
It's magic.
The only thing this hat's good for is the trash can.
All right, Patrick Harrison here saying Marty Supreme sucked. That movie's terrible.
He didn't really say it like that. He didn't like it. That's fine. I think it's totally cool to have a bad opinion like that, but also
I love how two people can see the same thing and have a completely different take. That's the beauty of art.
That's what I love about art. That's what I love about the movies. I really do. I give him grief. I understand if people don't like the movie.
Yeah.
It's very like, what movie is this? This is morphed into a different movie, and now it's back to the original movie, but now it's a different movie. And then, like, do you find a character you like at any one point in the movie?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch the Oscars this weekend. I'm just kind of out on that.
Not even for Conan's opening monologue?
I'll watch it online.
Yeah.
It'll be on Twitter.
I think that's
or
how a
on
lot of
YouTube.
people are seeing it.
I don't want to be lectured by a bunch of celebrities who live in gated communities about how to live life.
Well, we know what they're going to talk about.
We know exactly what they're talking about, and none of them deal with day-to-day real problems, but they're all going to tell us how to do things. Anyways, what do we got?
You a bitch, bro.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Speaking of actors, Shia LaBeouf's been in the news.
Yeah, not for good reasons.
No, he went to New Orleans, and his life is kind of falling apart a little bit.
Just went on a bender for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he fell off the wagon, and he got drunk, and he got into a big altercation, got his butt whooped, then got arrested for it. And when interviewed, he was asked why, and he gave a very uncomfortable answer to why he got into a fight. But also in this interview, randomly, the guy interviewing him asked him about a time that a sports player impacted his celebrity. And he gives this story about growing up in L.A. and how it kind of changed how he decided he was going to be as a celebrity once he made it.
I remember trying to get Mike Piazza's autograph, motherfucker. You know what I mean? For my whole life, Mike Piazza.
Were you waiting outside the fence?
Every day, this guy, bro. We used to go to Dodger games. Big Brothers program used to get these tickets out. You go Dodger game. Me and all of them dudes would be sitting in the parking lot. Brent Butler always signed. Hideo Nomo always signed. Mike Piazza.
Just a cold heart.
Mike Piazza, you're a bitch, bro.
How many times do you think he rejected signing up?
Every day, bro. I used to go out there 90 times probably. Rejected me 90 times. So what it did was, I'm going to sign them all. So when I got on, it was like, yo, Mike Piazza.
So you don't turn down any pictures?
Never, ever. Not unless I'm with my kid or I'm eating some food.
So if you ever meet Shia LaBeouf,
ask for an autograph, he'll say yes.
And he's not with his kid, he's not eating, and you ask for an autograph or a photo, you have to thank Mike Piazza being a bitch, according to Shia LaBeouf.
Thank you, Mike Piazza.
Mike Piazza creating all these great memories for people meeting Shia LaBeouf.
There you go.
Guy in the Hall of Fame who took steroids.
How about that, by the way? Mike Piazza, you a bitch, bro. Just Mike Piazza catching a stray?
Just out of nowhere, which I'm here for it.
I was never a Piazza guy.
I hated Mike Piazza.
Dodger,
his
and then became
entire
a Met.
career, I hated Mike Piazza.
He was a Marlin for
It was
like
one of the
5
Marlin,
games.
yeah.
Look,
That's right.
I hated Roger Clemens. I kind of like it when Clemens threw the bat at him in the World Series.
Oh, you rooted for Clemens
I
in that?
kind of did. Chalk it at him.
Not
Hit him.
Clemens. I can't stand Clemens.
And Mike catch one of his needle stabs in his butt.
Which one? Clemens or Piazza?
Touche.
I just, of all the players, this actually brought up my memory. I meant to pull this last week. Dude, I kind of have this for one athlete.
Oh, you asked for autographs, you didn't get one?
Yeah, and when you tell the story, like I think people will hear me tell the story and go, no, Sprague, I bet you were super annoying. And I totally get why you would think that. This is Penny Hardaway for me.
Tried for a Penny autograph, didn't get one?
Penny Hardaway, you a bitch, bro. Like, try to get a Penny Hardaway autograph while Penny Hardaway is still a player, and you kindly just saying, hey, I have your Sports Illustrated with you and Little Penny on the cover. Like,
I'd love to get this
This
signed.
is one of my favorite magazines. Could you sign it? And him being maybe 8 feet away and never once just even politely turning around going, hey, man, thanks for being a fan. I don't really do autographs. I would have been a little upset, but I would have also been like, okay. Didn't even acknowledge.
Acted like you didn't exist.
No. And I didn't hound him for 10 minutes. It was like, hey, Penny. Hey, Penny, I got the Sports Illustrated Kids magazine with you and Little Penny. Could I get an autograph, Penny?
Nothing.
Not even a turnaround.
Not even a thing.
Just completely acting like you couldn't hear me, and it clear as day, you were able to hear me.
Those hurt, man. Those hurt. I always would like to think if I were in that spot that you would take it much more seriously. But it's easier said than done, so I have a hard time criticizing it over the top. But it's different if you tell me a one-off as opposed to you're there 90 times asking for an autograph. Like, if it won up, you just could have caught Penny on a bad day. I don't know if that's a stereotype around him.
Sure.
And maybe that's who he is always, but it's also a one-off. You saw him, he didn't respond. Like, that sucks. Maybe that's how he is to every kid. Dude, if you saw Mike Piazza for 90 days in a row, or not, you get my point.
Yeah. I think Piazza saw him.
That's who you are.
I think Piazza
You're just an absolute scumbag. And it's all the kids. And he was there with a Big Brothers program, so these are kids who were like, off, great.
And Hideo's over there signing?
All the other players are there signing like, you are a bitch, Mike Piazza. And it's okay to say that. Go take more steroids.
All right, let's squeeze one more in here. Let Granny partay.
Yeah, I got one pulled this week. So this comes from Minnesota. And I didn't know this wasn't a thing, and now I'm on the side of Granny here.
Yes.
This comes from the Minnesota State Legislature. Now, I don't know what the gal's name is, but she's an elderly gal who lives at a senior care facility.
Is this senior fraud in Minnesota that somebody's going to investigate?
This is not, she's arguing maybe it is senior fraud. She wants to get rid of the fraud. They're a fan of something. Just because we're old doesn't mean we can't have fun.
That's right.
Friends and I love happy hour, just like many of you do, I am sure. Just because we are older and live in an assisted living doesn't mean that we should have fewer freedoms than anyone else. Allowing our facility to coordinate this happy hour affords us and our families the peace of mind that we can enjoy life but not be out slipping on the ice to stop and get our box of wine. This amendment is simply putting into law what many people assume is already allowed. Happy hour at the place where we call home.
My only regret is that we might not get invited to one of these happy hours if it gets passed. He wants to come.
There's an age threshold.
I see how it is.
This old lady said, why she wants to have an happy hour. She wants to be able to sell booze in the senior home and have a happy hour and be able to drink some cocktails with her gals.
The rabbit hole after you sent me this. So apparently it has to do with assisted living facilities or whatever that don't have a liquor license.
Yes, they cannot.
So, but they want to let them. I don't know how they'll have to couch it. So
you give them a liquor license and you shut up.
You just put some bottles of wine in there. They're 90 years old. Let them get buzzed.
They're there for 20 years at most. A lot of them, let them go out.
Because some facilities have restaurants and bars within them, and they have a proper liquor license and that sort of thing.
But not all of them do.
Not
and
all
there's
of them
this
do.
idea
So if
that
they
we
don't
can't
have
get
a
served.
liquor license, can they build some piece of exception to allow them
now,
to?
Has Papa Swag got a bar in his place?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he
has a bar in it.
He's got a place to go and
so
have a cocktail.
In the cafeteria or the dining hall or whatever it is, there is a little separate bar right there.
What you need. I mean, let these people have fun. It's the end of the
but
road.
I believe it's either a 2 or 3 drink minimum.
Oh, come on. When you getting cut off, what, you got to drive home? No, you're walking down the hall.
Dude, I'd
Grab
argue,
a wheelchair. Help them get home.
I'd argue the amount of STDs that are involved at these facilities, every day is happy hour.
It should be.
Oh, yeah.
What else is there to do when you're retired?
Because the bar doesn't open till like 2.
So you start in your room. You got pre-funk in your room.
Dude. These people are up at 5.
I think there's a gaggle of ladies I've been told.
Get a bottle of wine. You open it up.
They get the wine going.
Have
and,
a sip or
and
two.
Like 2:30, they're all down there.
One of the best rants that has existed on the Fan in the last couple of weeks was Sakanic talking about modern retirement homes and what they're going to be like.
Oh, the rap music
and
one.
Basically, like, when we all get old, is it just going to be a bunch of people listening to the Chronic, smoking weed, and playing video games all day? Like, is that what are we talking trash to 12-year-olds online video games? And I'm not going to lie to you. I had never thought of it, and I heard that rant, and I'm like, oh, my God, that kind of sounds like a good time. I'm firing up NCAA football for the first time in 40 years. Give me some gummies. Let's go have a blast, man.
I'm going to tell you catch me at a retirement home at 85, whatever hair I have left will be braided. I'll be smoking a blunt, and the Chronic 2001 will be playing in my room.
Let me have fun. I have lived a long life.
Kidding me?
This is the final chapter. I want happy hour at 3 o'clock. So shout out to this old lady for going in front of the Minnesota State House.
We'll have to follow this up.
Follow up the story and see if they pass it.
Do we have a problem like this in our state? Like, do they have legitimate happy hours? Or
I don't know. Again, I think
it's a case-by-case basis.
I think the trick to this is facilities that don't have a liquor license.
How much does it cost to get a liquor license?
Well, it's the permitting process that you have. Plus, then you have to carry a certain amount of extra liability insurance.
Right.
You have to have your bartenders have to go through training, all of that. It's not just getting the license. It's everything that goes along with it.
Sure.
So I don't think it's as, should all the olds have happy hour? Yeah, retirement should be one giant happy hour.
Yes. Every day's a happy
it
hour.
Should be happy hour.
Cocktail at 9 a.m.
So this will be how they artfully parse the bylaws of liquor licenses because, yes, we would like for assisted living facilities to be able to have people, if they want to have a gather and a happy hour, and who cares where the wine comes from.
Right.
But it's okay, but what does that allow in on the backside with unintended consequences that they're not an established, bar or
Junior's
whatever.
there visiting grandma, and he gets a little hammered on Granny's happy hour wine, and then he drives home. And
whatever the case may be. That's the tricky part.
Well,
so
look,
we'll keep an eye on the
Does he like
legislature.
living in the facility?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Let grannies and grandpas have fun, man.
Yeah.
Let them go wild.
Is he?
I also like how she said their box of wines.
Yeah. I got to go outside and slip
Gotta
on the
be
ice
honest.
trying to get my box of wine.
The way that she sounded like she had drank some of the box of wine. And I couldn't tell if that was
Little
age
liquid courage, man.
or
waking
the
up a
wine
little bit.
itself.
There you go. Magic Hat every Thursday from 9 to 9:30. There will be some leftover submissions in there. I'll get to one here in the update. Let's get to a segment of pointing and laughing and asking, boy, how bad could it be? It's this bad. We'll get to that next, but first, here's us with a update.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by A&E Plumbing, Heating, and Air, serving Portland, Southwest Washington, and the Gorge. Online at aneheatingandcooling.com. It's hard to stop a train. First on the Fan, we shouted out the Benson Astros boys basketball team earlier, winning their quarterfinal game in the 6A OSAA basketball championships. It's the girls' quarterfinals today.
Nelson for the first time.
Nelson,
in
the
the
19th seed, taking on second-seeded West Lynn. That is the last game, 8:15 tonight at the Child Center.
Yeah.
We'll start at 1:30. The top seed is Tualatin. They get West Salem. The 4-5 matchup, South Medford and Sherwood. And then at 6:30, it is 11 seed Oregon City, 3rd seed Benson. So Benson has a chance to double up.
Yeah, I wanted to go to this game, but 8:15 I think is going to be a little too late for me to be at the Child Center and get home and try to get rest. 8:15 is
That's a tough one, yeah.
Pretty late tip time, but go Hawks. I hope that they can pull off the upset against West Lynn. This one is a minor little blip on the animal news department, but it kind of breaks my brain how we're able to conclude this. They just recently discovered that dinosaurs used to have cancer.
Can I ask a question?
Are we making it up?
Yeah.
I mean, I was asking this in my head.
Yeah, how do we know that?
Bones. The study of their bones, their fossils. There's like, hey, man.
We can tell every detail about a person by looking at their bone.
They can conclude whether something had cancer, I guess.
I mean, sure, that.
I
but
didn't
like,
go to doctor school.
We
so
can
don't
tell you
ask
the
me.
mating habits from thousands of years ago between dinosaurs.
I mean, we
because
can't
of a
even
bone?
conclude what they looked like.
No.
Some think they look like giant chickens, T-Rexes.
I'm calling about BS on this.
And others think they look like the ones from
Somebody had
Jurassic Park.
an article on this the other day about the dinosaur documentary on Netflix. It was like, all of this is made up.
All
It's like
of it.
Morgan Freeman.
The noises,
Yeah.
everything.
Hey, how do you know what noise they made? By looking at the
all made
bones.
up,
This was in the Magic Hat. I'll put it here because it's timely this week. I don't know if this does it for anybody, but it's right up my alley. I have not been a fan of the Full Swing documentary on Netflix that Golf put out. It's not a chronological story. It's just about telling random, behind-the-scenes, in-depth pieces, which can be good and beneficial. It was announced yesterday the PGA Tour has reached a partnership with NFL Films to make a Hard Knocks-style series surrounding this weekend's Player Championship that will come out on HBO. All the behind-the-scenes stuff, very excited for it.
There you go. More high school basketball, dinosaur, and golf stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the a.m.
Quick update. Players' Championship back underway. Rain delay was quick. Some showers passing through. It got nasty right in the middle of one of our segments. I'm watching behind Sprague's head, and I'm like, oop, they're going to blow the horn. And there it was. But they're already back underway. Fleetwood in the lead right now with Maverick McNeely at 5 under par. Opening day of the Players' Championship. This one blew my mind. It's not a surprise. It's a pretty obvious stat. But just, dear God, how is it possible? Because it's not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
After yesterday, Kyler Murray was officially released by the Arizona Cardinals. He is a free agent. A lot of people think he's going to sign with Minnesota, and we could get that announcement at any time. He's going to visit them, and that will probably be the landing spot, but that's not a point of the segment. The point of the segment is that he was cut, and that marks of the 29, there were 29 quarterbacks selected in the first round in the second decade of this millennium. So 2010 to 2019, 29 quarterbacks over those 10 years. Do you know how many of the 29 are with the team that drafted them?
Let's see.
Mahomes,
Allen,
Lamar.
That it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
Burrow and Herbert were 2020 drafts, so they were the next decade.
Right,
so for that entire the second decade of the 2010 to 2019. Now some of that's a little bit different, right? If you drafted in 2010, it's different than 2019. A lot of those guys might be out of the league. The point remains only 3. Kyler was one of the last ones that was originally on the team that drafted him, and only 3 remain. And how inaccurate of a science it is, and we talk all the time about second chances, and you never say never. Just bonkers how many quarterbacks we have whiffed on in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, but I'm kind of curious now, like 2000 to 2010.
I'd be curious to go look it up. I can pull some of those numbers up in the break and let you know.
Eli, Ben. Phillip didn't finish as a Charger.
No, he did not. He moved on to the Colts. How many ended up playing their careers with one team?
Nothing in 2000.
I don't know. I mean, at what point? I mean, how many years did Rodgers play for Green Bay? Well, no, he didn't start the. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He was drafted there.
04.
And then he left.
Yeah.
So
I mean, what, he played there for 15 or something?
He was there for a very long time.
So from 2000 2010, atop my head, I can only come up with 3.
That play, yeah.
Rodgers, Eli.
Well, and Rodgers
Big
has
Ben.
since moved on, but to your point, yeah, he was around for a long time. Going into the next decade, he was there for a long time.
Yeah, I guess also in that sense, maybe Phillip was still a Charger then, 2010, 2011.
He would have for sure still been a Charger.
But still, like, I think the point isn't just that it's, hey, it's really hard to find out. It's like you could probably go through a lot of decades and say how many are with until you get to a certain point where it's like.
How many? Was this a more common thing back in the day, or is that just me misremembering in my head? Because all of a sudden I'm getting like Troy Aikman pop into my head, Dan Marino, Elway.
Montana. Well.
No, Montana moved.
Well, but moving and being a team in a decade.
That's true.
How many guys got a second contract?
Because you're talking about Mahomes
true.
and
Very true.
Allen. They were drafted in 17, 18.
They were?
Yeah.
And they're still with the teams that drafted them.
Yeah, and they're having a nice run.
They're
but
in a new
it's
contract.
Not like it's a full-on.
That's a fair point. Yeah, just
more
going
about
long runs.
who got the long-term extension.
Right.
After being drafted by that team.
If you want to add one more to the list here of like remembering drafts, this one was pretty good. So the Niners trading for the Dallas defensive lineman, who, by the way, I think he's a David Douglas kid. Did he go to David Douglas?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a local kid.
Yep, both of them did. His older brother.
In 2021, the Dallas Cowboys drafted 11 players. Now, 2021 is not that long ago. 5 years ago.
6 seasons ago.
6 seasons ago. Not that long ago. 11 players. Of the 11 players the Cowboys drafted in 2021.
0.
Not a single one remains on the team. Their first pick in that draft was
that Micah Parsons?
Micah Parsons, 11th overall. Kelvin Joseph in the second round. Osa in the third round. Chauncey Golston in the third round as well. Nashawn Wright in the third round. Like, it goes on. And it's a Cowboy fan put this out and was like, poof, they're all gone. 5 years later, all of them
but
are gone.
again, I don't think it's any different than the quarterback one. How many teams from 2021 have all their draft picks still?
I'm not saying all. It's impossible to say all because you're going to whiff on 70% of your draft picks and guys will be out of the league. It's the idea of hitting on a guy and them no longer playing on your team.
But also how much it changes your circumstance of how you're competing. The Chiefs with McDuffie is this. He was just drafted in 22.
Yeah.
He's gone.
So let's look up. Of the 2021 draft, Trevor Lawrence was the number 1 overall pick.
Still there.
Trey Lance was the 3rd overall pick.
4th or 5th team.
Zach Wilson, number 2.
Yep.
You have Kyle Pitts, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase, 5.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Waddle, 6. Still there. Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Pat Surtain, Devonta Smith. Justin Fields and Parsons have moved on. Slater, 13. Rashawn Slater for the Chargers still there. Mac Jones obviously moved on.
Yeah.
Elijah Vera Tucker for the Jets. Jalen Phillips gone.
Yep.
Kadarius Toney gone.
Yeah.
Back end of the top, the first round, it gets a little more hairy.
The one you
sure.
point to there is Parsons.
Parsons was the guy.
You shouldn't have traded him.
Yeah.
And other than that, how many others of those teams kept all those picks from 2021 still?
It's not about all. It's just about the idea of not a single one from 5 years ago remains on your roster.
It
that
makes
was
the
5
Parsons
seasons
trade
ago,
stupid.
and you don't have a single player that you drafted that still plays for you.
That's fair.
So a lot of guys will flame out, though. That's for sure. Let's get you set for your night in sports. And what are we watching tonight? What are we following? We'll get to that to close it up next on The Fan. Well, to the question of first-round quarterbacks in this decade that is not complete yet, following up this segment on the only 3 of the 29 from 2010 to 2019 remain on their team that drafted them. Here are your list of quarterbacks taken this next decade in the first round. Joe Burrow, obviously, still Cincinnati. Tua, Miami, bye-bye. Herbert and Love, Chargers and Packers still there. 2021 draft is just obviously, Trevor Lawrence is still in Jacksonville. And then you had Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones, all of whom have moved on.
Yep.
2022, the only first-round pick. Do you remember the only quarterback to go in the first round in 2022?
I do not.
Kenny Two Gloves Pickett.
He just signed with somebody.
All right, we're still trying that one out, huh?
No, not to be a starter. He's
just backup.
He's a career backup now.
2023, it's still a little too early, although has Richardson been traded yet? Has anybody taken him?
He's still,
so he's still there?
Still Colt.
So you have, obviously, Richardson, Stroud, and Bryce Young, and then after that, nobody's moved. I mean, it's only 2 years in the league, right? But a lot of those guys seem to have...
McCarthy will be the first, if not Penix.
McCarthy or Penix would like to be the first. Yeah. Bo's not going anywhere. You wouldn't imagine as of now. Drake May just got to a Super Bowl. Jaden Daniels, I know they had a rough year, but I don't think he's going anywhere. And Caleb in Chicago is going to be their first franchise quarterback maybe ever. And then last year you only had Cam Ward, only one quarterback. Likely, potentially, only one quarterback in the first round again this year, which would be pretty wild. Back-to-back years. Only one quarterback. What are we watching tonight? We got our eyes on anything? Conference tournaments?
The
big conference tournaments do it for
throughout
us?
the day. You're seeing a lot of the big boys start to play today.
Yeah, around the conference tournaments, you got obviously some finals happening.
I have
wrapping
no
up.
interest in the 76ers now. They seem like they're tanking.
The 76ers are going the other way?
Dude, they've fallen into the play.
Really?
Yeah, they're
you got the players.
Celtics Thunder.
Yeah, players is what I'm going to be watching.
Celtics
for sure.
Thunder
The players,
will be interesting.
Celtics Thunder at 6:30.
Okay.
And then whatever college basketball
Avalanche
has.
Kraken tonight.
There you go.
Yeah,
all right.
So no one cares.
Celtics and Thunder will be a fun game. What did Brown get tossed for the other night? I saw he went straight to the locker room and started bitching about the officials.
He got flat out shoved in the side that forced him out of bounds, and the ref just stood there.
He got tossed because of a carryover. It's not just that call. He got fined a week ago for commenting on how bad the officiating was.
And it was bad again.
Then he got a call. He didn't get a call, and he yelled at Tyler Ford. Actually, to credit Tyler Ford, the official, he could have tossed him. And he basically gave him one tee, and then he just stood there, and then another ref came in and then tossed Jaylen Brown.
Okay. We also have Nuggets and Spurs tonight, but it's not on national television.
I don't think the game's going to be good, but you do have Dabansa against Houston.
Oh, okay.
In the Big 12, and he's been on a tear.
He's been killing.
27.
Did you see his Red Bull thing the other day? So he's repped by Red Bull. I'm guessing that's why he did this. And he sat down at the Big 12 conference table, their media session after the game or whatever, and he put a Red Bull can down in front of him. And a Big 12 official leaned over and was like, "You can't have that there. It's not a conference sponsor."
Yeah.
And he was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's only for conference sponsorship." So he's like, "Fine." And then a BYU reporter, absolutely understanding the role, asked, "What do you do for energy when you're running a little tired and low?" And he said, "You know what? Thank you for asking. Red Bull gives you wings." And he got his endorsement read in, which is like, you know what? That came full circle.
I know we'll get to it when the season's over and the draft is around the corner and we may have a top 10 pick or be in the running for it. He's my favorite one.
Yep.
He's the one that if we had the pick and we could choose the 3, that's the guy I go with.
Well, according to my dream the other night, we're going to get the 3rd overall pick in the lottery.
Dude, if they end up getting rewarded for ethically tanking, I'll be through the roof.
If we got a top 3 pick in the lottery, I might cry. I legitimately might cry.
What if we go Peterson?
I don't care. Just give me some reason to be hopeful.
Tummy ache.
Tummy ache Tommy. Bring him in town, baby. Let's do this thing. Play 42 games. I don't care. You good in the playoffs? Does it matter?
Darren Tummy ache.
Darren Tummy ache. That'll do it for us, folks. If you're listening to the show, go check the podcast, 1051thefan.com, at 1051thefan on Twitter, at Dirt and Sprague on Twitter. Hopefully you get your canoes and paddles out because it's going to rain all day. Enjoy the Players' Championship, all the hoops going on. And thanks for being a part of our Thursday. We will talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m. The Firm. Harrison Meringue is next. Listen to 105.1 FM The Fan.